Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky on Wednesday evening. I see we've already got a couple of eager beavers in the chat. We've got Sarah. Hello, Sarah. I hope you're doing well. Great to see you. And we have got young William Becker. Hi, you William. Hope everything's going well for you, my friend.
Dan, leave people's beavers. Leave people's beavers out of it, Dan.
I know, eager beaver. We've got 6 in the chat. Oh, Eric. Hello, Eric. Dogman is back. Oh, I'm back with a bang. How are you, Eric? Hope you're doing well, buddy. And we are here this evening to talk about nothing in particular, I don't think.
We're having a catch-up because it's been a while, hasn't it, Dan?
It's been a while. It has been a while. I've been like H.G. Wells' Invisible Man. I've hardly been seen. And we have got Mary. Hiya, Mary. Oh,
hi, Mary.
You. Great to see you in the chat, Mary. And we've got young Rita. Hiya.
Hi, Rita.
Hope you're keeping tabs on that young Eric. So
he's gone wild recently, Eric.
He has gone wild. He's reverted. What do they call it? Feral, I think. He's gone feral Eric. So yes, that's good. People coming thick and fast and saying hi, which is great. We love that. We love you to interact with us, and we love to have the chat. So, like I was saying, we're not going to talk about anything particular this evening. We're just going to shoot the breeze, as they say. How are you this evening, Viv?
Just tired from work.
Yeah, I know.
Really tired. It's just been it's been crazy. It's been
crazy.
Not just in private life, but I think as well in the paranormal field. It's been completely crazy. And tonight we got the news, the sad news, if people don't know. Do you want to tell them what we found out tonight, Dan?
Yes, we have found out that, unfortunately, we think it's definite that Sinead O'Connor, God rest her soul, passed away today. We haven't found a reason for it. We don't know what the situation is. And she was quite a young lady. She was 56 years old.
Yeah.
So nothing. But as Viv was saying, she did lose her son. Son was about 18 months or 2 years ago. So maybe that had something to do with her mindset. I don't know. But yeah, it's awful. Absolutely awful. And I always thought she was quite a good looking girl and very talented. So yeah, she will be missed. So rest in peace. And good evening, Annette. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it is, Mary. It's awful. Evening, young Paul. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I hope you're doing well. So, what have you been up to, Viv, apart from working and lighting the candle at both ends?
Well, it's quite funny, actually, because I had a chance meeting today with a gentleman, complete stranger, in Tesco's. And it transpires that he has a 16th century pub he owns. and it's got ghosts and not investigated before that he knows of. So, yeah, a chance meeting. I'm going to have to contact him and arrange a night. I can't say where it is at the minute. But it is, I just thought it was a bit of a kick in the backside.
Hi, Casey. Good to see you,
Hi,
chat guy.
Casey.
Good to see you, buddy.
Hope the family are well. Yeah, so it was a chance meeting. And I think it's the universe telling me, come on, Vivian, get your butt into gear, get yourself out there. And so, yeah, so Dan and I will be hopefully filming for Striking Midnight. So that is definitely going to happen. Just got to arrange a time and a date and all that sort of thing. And plus, like,
What is it?
Yeah,
What did the uppie say? Got to lock it down.
got to lock it down. Get it in the book.
Make it ours. Lock it down. Do you know what weird thing you were saying that? And a weird thing I always find is that you spend weeks and days and months and sometimes best part of a year or two banging your head against the wall trying to book an event, and it is a nightmare. And then you come across a chance meeting like that, and bang, within a second you've got an event that you can attend. Unreal, isn't it? Absolutely unreal. Fortuitous, and I think these things are they're already on your path. I think they're set out for you.
Well, we could get this opened up to other paranormal investigators, depending on what he wants to do. And it will help keep his doors open as well. So it's something that could end up on the paranormal map. We will see. We'll see what the owner wants to do and what he expects of us. But I definitely have a night in this pub.
That's definitely
cool. That's definitely coming.
It's so cool.
Chance meeting. I think the fact that I had workwear on, I don't go suited and booted, but I had the skirt, the shoes, the cardi,
you're presentable.
Yeah, and I think that definitely had something to do with it, because he then realised that I do have a professional job, that I work long hours, and all the rest of it, that I'm not just a fly-by-night that's hoping to do something by chance. I think it goes a long way. Dan, people ask me, how do you get these venues? How do you make contact with people? And I always say, go and meet them in person and dress to impress, and don't talk shite.
No, and if that doesn't work, I'll find threats help.
Just be professional.
Evening, Andy. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Hi, Andy.
Oh, you would love it. We'll sort you out one of them. Don't worry about that.
Yes.
We'll sort you out with an investigation. Don't worry. We'll keep you in the loop. Again, I'm talking yuppie talk. Keep you in the loop. Lock it down. I don't know what's going on with me.
Do you want a slap, Dan?
I need one to get me back. Whoa! I've gone the chain all over the place.
But the thing is, though, Dan, right? So he says that he has ghosts. We don't know what kind of ghosts. Are they ghosts in history that are just replaying? We've got no clue. We have no idea. We've never even drunk in the pub. We just happened to speak to the owner. Well, I did.
Good. Fortuitous. Good. Me and you both, Eric. Me and you both, brother.
I think if you look professional.
Hi, Scott. Good evening, buddy.
Hi, Scott. And when I say professional, I don't mean the paranormal T-shirt, the cap, and some of the equipment with you. And I'm not talking about that. They look at it, and I'm sad to say this, that they do look at it as a business now. So it will be a first initial investigation, and we'll see if there's anything that we can do for one another.
Viv, I need to stop you there. We're getting into very dangerous territory now. What with the paranormal team shirts and stuff. We don't want to go down that route. We don't want to go down that route. We've seen dummies thrown out of prams, blankets kicked off. We don't want to go down that route.
But I think while you're trying to lock the venue down, while you're trying to get your foot in the door, it always helps to be professional. So it helps to sort of pacify the people that are handing their property over to you to do whatever it is that you're going to do in there. It always helps, because then they look at you through different eyes. When I turn up there in my Striking Midnight T-shirt or my whatever. It's different.
Cat balls.
Yeah, cat balls. No, but do you see what I mean? It just, you're selling yourself and you want the best. So
Had it been me to come across, he'd have run a mile. He probably thought I was going to mug him.
but no,
I'd lose my temper with it, Rita. I always lose my temper with it.
He does lose his. I've seen him lose
I'm
his temper
terrible.
big time.
Technology and me are not. We're not bedmates, as it were.
I remember that time I had to give you some training. This is
Everybody
what
has
you
to
do,
give me
Dan.
training.
Press this button. What button? I can't bloody see any
Everybody has to
button.
give me training. Everybody, kids, animals, everybody. That'd be a good idea, Eric.
Oh, they're coming. They're coming. Trust me. Yeah. So people ask me, Dan, and I don't know about you if you get the same. Like, I've emailed these people, they don't respond. How do I get them to respond to me? Well, sit back and think. What did your email say? How did you compose your email? What are you asking them? And did you send your email to the right person? Start off with a telephone call.
Do you know what? I'm not being snobby or elitist, but you've met a lot of these paranormal teams, and you think, well, if that's the way you talk to me, I can imagine how you are on emails and sending messages. No please, no thank you, no courtesies. So,
Grammar.
of course, people aren't really going to want to get involved with you if you're going to just be like that, But no class, these people. Absolutely no class like what I has.
Dan.
But yes.
And sometimes they want to see the person face to face, because you can tell a lot by like having that initial contact and seeing them in the flesh. You can, honestly, I look at people's shoes. You can tell a lot by a person's shoes. What have they got on their feet? Are they clean? Are they dirty? What type of shoes are they? I'm not talking about that. Annette. Yeah, Annette's being dirty. She's just laughing.
I judge them on the size of their bosom.
No. Bloody hell. Annette,
talk to the breasts, never the eyes. Never make contact with the eyes.
Oh dear, it's terrible. I always wear Skechers.
It's me as well, Eric.
But yeah, so we've got that on the horizon. We've got another one on the horizon.
There's a few out there, aren't there?
I've been asked to hire a very big venue to do something there. So maybe we might do a team share at some point. Paul, if you're up for it, let us know. And we'll see if we can sort something out between your team, our team. Get something going down. And also, like, as I said, like networking, like Paul Mould's group, what do you call yourselves? The Birmingham Collective. He'll tell us in a minute. Lovely, lovely, lovely group, lovely people. And I mean, I've known Paul for years, but the rest of his team, absolutely fantastic, great investigators. And I know that, they go off, do their thing, we'll go in our own little areas, work, and it will work really well. But, I suppose by networking and getting to know people like that, you can hire some of these bigger venues. So, yeah, the West Midlands Collective, I think they call themselves. Is it? Something like that. I don't know if Paul's on there. Well, I think he's disappeared, but yeah, Paul knows. I really rate
him. He showed his place and went.
Yeah. Oh, Andy hates a weak handshake.
Yes, I agree with that.
Dan has a special handshake.
I do. I have a very, very special handshake, and I've been arrested for it a couple of times.
No, you haven't. Yes, one trouser leg rolled up, though, the other one down.
I do. I'll do that while shaking your hand. And that way you know that I am one of the special people, very special.
It's funny.
So yes, it's good. All good then.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's the show for tonight, guys. Thanks very much for coming, and we hope you have a good weekend. See you later.
but what have you missed since you've been away? Was we had some dramas in the paranormal. Let's talk a little bit without mentioning any names and that sort of thing. But there's been, again, it goes around full circle. It always happens, and bullying gets thrown into the mix, and mental health and everything else. And so there's been some drama recently, and a pot has been stirred to the point, though, it has affected a lot of people, not just the one main person, but many, 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 many people. Dan, your thoughts? I know that you've seen it and you've caught up, but what is your thoughts about the whole thing?
I think the thing with the paranormal, putting everything aside at the moment, I think the thing with the paranormal, it's a very slippery garden with a lot of spiky plants in it. And you're always going to fall over and end up on your ass, and you're going to end up being bricked, upset somewhere along the line at some point. And I think that there's enough of that without adding to it and committing, if you like, professional suicide.
Yeah.
And I also think that if you've got opinions, it's great to have opinions. If you agree with people, you don't agree with people. Plenty of people say things that I don't agree with, and I say things that other people don't agree with. But you know what? You agree to disagree. And the thing is, as well, that you keep it interchangeable. So I might believe one thing one week and then change my opinion a week later. It could be like that. So you keep yourself malleable and open. The one thing you shouldn't do is have an opinion that is set in stone and then utilize that opinion to then upset other people. And I think that that's where the problem was. I think that particular person, rather than thinking, well, you know what, I could upset a lot of people by doing this, they've just gone ahead, been bloody minded, and done it.
So do you think it's an ego thing, Dan? Do you think they do it? They did it to attract more people to look at him, or them, I should say, to look at them. Look at me. I'm doing this. And even when their people are catching on to the arguments and the backwards and forwards, he's hoping that click that like button on their page because there's drama. I'll get the popcorn and I'll sit back and watch. It doesn't work like that because he was, I'm going to say there was a lot of people that were hurt, and even on both sides, because when you give it out, it comes back fourfold, and it did.
Yeah, I agree. I think what's happened is that, and I've done it myself over the years, I've been parties to do it myself. I'll put my hands up, I've done it. I've said things on the internet, and because I've been heat at the moment, I've been angry. And I've been pissed off. And I've said things, and when I look back on it, I think to myself that I wasn't having the greatest time. And I think that from an outside point of view, to all intents and purposes, it looks like that person's having a breakdown.
Yeah.
Because they've thrown everything out the pram and gone against all of their beliefs, and they've just gone on a self-destruction. They press that self-destruction button and they don't care.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what that person's done. I can't talk about someone's mental health because I don't really know what the situation is with their mental health. But to me, it seemed. But then when people offer you or say to you, you need to reel it in a bit. I think you need to get yourself sorted. You're not, people are concerned. They're worried for you. They show that they're caring by pointing out that.
Yeah.
But then to spit in their face. And I've seen that particular person did that a couple of times with a couple of people that I know, and I don't think that's warranted. I don't think it's warranted. I think even if it sounds like they're being harsh, they're not being harsh. They're caring.
Yes,
and that's why they do
you've
that.
done that to me quite a few times. Vivian,
we pull each other up, don't we? We pull each other up, don't we?
Yeah, and when you've got your friend telling you, one of your best friends telling you, hang on a minute, and you're attacking them for no good reason. I mean, Dan's slapped me a few times and said, shut up, you silly cow. Keep your mouth shut.
We do, though, don't we? But we don't take umbrage at it.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, Dan don't agree with everything. I like it.
No, if you
like Coronation Street.
Well, exactly. If you say to me, I think you've been a bit much there. I think you did that, or you did that. Then I'll go away and think, you know what? If she's told me that, then there's probably a point to it.
Yeah.
So then you consider
Yeah.
what you've been told,
Yeah.
because the people you love and the people that you're close to are only going to tell you that because they're concerned about you and they want to put you back on the right track. You know, they're trying to help you. But
Yeah.
what I saw was people trying to help this particular person, and it was kind of not just thrown back in their face, but it was thrown back in their face with venom.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing you don't do if you're having a fallout with people, the one thing you don't do is call people stupid. I'll really be honest with you. I think that's unforgivable.
Yeah.
To say to someone, you're just stupid, because that then cuts any. There is no room then
Lost
to
the
have an
argument
intelligent
then.
argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't then. You can't debate things. There's no to and froing. There's no getting a middle ground. You've destroyed it. You've said that, and you've lost the argument.
Dan, you
And
squeeze someone on. Dan, you squeeze someone's hand.
did I?
Whose hand have you squeezed? Did you know him?
Oh, I think she's on about the shake.
Ah.
What's Eric on about? Eric, you on drugs?
Yes.
Oh, you Wayne. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yes, I don't think that there's when people have been kind to you and good to you, and they looked out for you, and they're trying to pull you back from the brink of the abyss. I don't think you then turn around and call people stupid. You don't do that anyway, and you don't then bring other people's family members into it. If you've got an argument or a beef with one particular person, that's between you and that person. You don't then say, "Well, your wife's stupid," or "Your girlfriend's a moron," or there's no need for that.
Ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm.
Oh, please don't put that thought in my head, Wayne. That's not good.
Hiya, Nicola.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm still sort of friends with that person on Facebook because he hasn't done anything to me.
no, exactly.
And I haven't, and I'm very much like me and Viv always said, you fall out with somebody, you fall out with them, doesn't mean that the rest of the world's got to fall out with them, which is it's right, it is, but I don't like what he's done to some of my friends.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Over the years, Andy says, over the years, there's got to be enough evidence to warrant an investigation. From what I've seen, genuine investigators go into it with open minds. Do you know, Dan and I go into these places to prove there's nothing there. And that's the difference between me and Dan. So if we do get stuff, because we're expecting nothing to happen, Dan gets, ooh, Jamie starts screaming and runs away, and I just laugh.
He does. But I think the thing is as well, you've got to go. I mean, I'm not frightened to say or ashamed to say that I've had opinions that are not set in stone, but I've believed in them 90-odd%. And then it's got to a point where I've changed my opinion on something because somebody's pointed out, well, that couldn't be like that, Dan, because X, Y, and Z. And it's like, actually, yeah, you got a valid point there. So I think you need to keep it malleable. You need to be open to other ideas, But there's a way to put those ideas across. And the way you put those ideas across is with conversation and talking to each other, not going, well, this is all bollocks, I don't believe in this, so therefore it's shit. You can't do that. That's an arrogance and very childish.
Yeah. Paul's just said something. He says, too many narcissists.
Hi, Paul.
Victim. Hi, Paul, by the way. I've been a victim of those type of people and I've given up. Can't be bothered, so don't trust anyone anymore. Still investigate and do what I love, but do it with a very small group of friends only. Yeah, that's like Lucy as well. Yeah.
Exactly right. Well,
yes,
Paul knows
Dan.
what they're like. Paul's seen them.
Yes, Dan. I'll bend you up like a pretzel.
Bend me like a pretzel.
I'll bend you like a pretzel.
Bend you like a pretzel. Hiya, Cliff.
All right, Cliff.
Hiya, buddy.
All right, or watcher. That's what they say down south.
Watcher.
Thank
you. Watcher. Yeah, exactly. I don't like the way that this particular person. I mean, I'll be honest with you, looking at it from an outside point of view, I don't really know the person, but looking at the way the knee-jerk reaction and the way his opinion changed and his attitude changed, it screamed to me of somebody going through some sort of breakdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's just There are ways to go about things, and the way that he went about them was completely wrong. Hey up, Cliff lad.
Hey up, Cliff lad, get a brew on and make sure it's Yorkshire tea.
Well, I'll go to the foot of our stairs. There's trouble at mill.
And do you drink the water?
Water.
Is it? Water. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, I swore then.
What have you just done?
I bashed my elbow.
For fuck's sake. I thought you were doing a Jamie. I've been touched.
No.
Are you all right?
Well, I've just bashed it on my funny bone. My arm's gone to sleep.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm Willard. I can handle it. What are you laughing at? Do you want to see something that arrived in the post? And I am.
It's not another Stone Willie, is it?
Actually, no. You're going to be jealous. You're going to walk
Down.
Let me go and get it.
Turn off.
Amongst yourself for a minute.
Talk amongst yourselves. She'll be fine, Sarah. She's made of tough stuff. Where's she gone? She's probably bought another Stone Willie. Have you bought another Stone Willie?
So, do you remember we did a show with Ben and Lou Winfield?
Yes, nice couple of people.
And Lou actually, well, they both make stuff, but I was impressed with what Lou makes, and she actually made me something in the colours that I requested, and I absolutely adore it. So, Lou, if you're watching, thank you very much. It is amazing. I am going to put pictures all over Facebook, but this is what I ordered.
That's quite cute, isn't it? Has he got back wings?
So I have my very own. I have my very own Baphomet.
That's cute. That's quite cute.
I love him. It's really cute, and she made that. She crocheted that. She did it all by herself.
That's amazing.
She's a clever lady. It's got his little tail.
It's got what? Little tail?
Is it? Such a cute little thing.
Very cute.
Yeah. So if you want one, go on Lou Winfield's Facebook page and message her, and she will make them. She might make them to order whatever colours you want. She has a few that she's made already, and she will show you. So, yeah.
She does loads of bits and bobs, doesn't she? Craft, arts and crafts.
Does, yeah.
So Ben does as well. Ben does does pyrographs and stuff, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. My hair's sticking up all over the place, bouncing all over the way.
There you go. Too much electricity. There's a spirit in the room.
Well, the arsehole's not arrived yet. John.
Is it? What's this, Eric? I promise I'll be getting my stuff out of you guys soon.
Oh, wow. Yes, now, Eric's made some amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's handy, Eric.
We've given him some ideas for some other stuff that we will showcase and will be featuring on Striking Midnight, hopefully. So,
it's cute, Nicola.
Thank you. It's cute.
Oh, that's good, Wayne. That's good.
Just take care of yourself, Wayne. And don't take any nylon with you, only cotton. No flammable clothing.
And don't go smoking near woods.
No. So, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're also, Dan and I are going to be arranging a memorial for Uncle Norm. We will announce it. We will put posters out everywhere, so if people want to attend, they can. But Norman was, wow, what would you call Norman Fahy? He was
eclectic and he was eccentric.
But he had paranormal that ran through his veins.
And a very, 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 very educated man.
Yeah.
Very, very intelligent man. And a lovely, lovely, lovely man.
He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot.
He was amazing. He was amazing. Every time you were in his company, it was special.
Yeah.
Well, it was special. And you'd fall in love with him. I'd defy anybody not to fall in love with Norman.
Yeah.
Because he was just that type of person, wasn't he? He was just.
Do you remember, Dan,
amazing.
the time that we got him on a show because he suffered near-death experiment? Well, he actually did die, didn't he?
He died a couple of times, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, but one time he'd been gone 15 minutes. Right, pronounced dead, gone. Car crash, dead at the scene, taken to the hospital. They tagged him, got him on a gurney, ready, take him down to the what was it, the morgue?
Down to the morgue, yeah, the mortuary, yeah.
When you had the porter, they take the bodies down, and it's a long corridor down to the morgue itself. And these corridors are lonely. I don't know if you've ever been down these long corridors in the hospital to get from one side to the other. They're massive. Anyway, this poor porter had him on the gurney, so he had the sheet across him, trying to be as dignified as possible. He had no clothes on. He had to get them. And he had a tag already on his toe and on his wrist. And he'd taken this trolley down this long corridor. Norman, all of a sudden, opened his eyes, he said, this thing was on my face. He said, I battered it out the way and sat up and saw this fella pushing me. And he went, who the fuck are you? And who the fuck am I? And the porter was so scared. He left him and just ran back down the corridor, obviously, to go and get help. He said, I got up off the gurney. He said, tried to get up off the gurney to walk in the direction of the porter. He said, obviously, he fell down. He couldn't walk. He said, and he didn't realise that all his tackle and everything was on show because he just had this gown. He still didn't know where he was. And I said to him, did you have an experience while you were gone? Did you see anything on the other side? And he said, no. He said, did I, Ek? He said, it was just all black. Do you remember him saying that? It's like, oh, so no white light, no, he went, no, nobody come to collect you, no.
But then he felt the hand of his little sister's hand, didn't he, in his hand?
Yeah, she said, come with me, and brought him back.
I remember him telling me about his death. He said, I died, not once, twice. Once at the scene and once in the ambulance.
He's just
really proud of it. I died not once, twice. Amazing.
He said the paramedics that brought him in, that pronounced him dead on scene, didn't believe that he came back. And when he was on the ward, he said, and they were back on shift, they actually went to the ward to see him sitting in the bed because they didn't believe that he came back after being dead for so long.
They said to him, didn't they? They'd come to visit him because they want to see what a dead man looks like when he's alive again. Oh, can you imagine him walking down the corridor with a sheet round him like fucking Lazarus?
I felt more sorry for the poor porter that was pushing him to the morgue, because he must have, honestly, if that was me, I would have shat my
Do you reckon he stayed in that job?
No, I would have left. Oh dear.
He look like Lazarus, didn't he? Must look like Lazarus coming out of the with a sheet round him and like.
Oh, it could only happen to Norman. Remember, fancy the first words. Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? Yeah.
And where the fuck am I?
Eventually, it was his sister, but I think didn't she bring him out of it or something?
She brought him back, didn't she?
She brought him back, didn't she? She got his hand and
yeah.
He lost his sister, God love her soul, when she was a kid, wasn't she? A little kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he was an amazing man, wasn't he?
Oh, he was funny. Do you know,
archaeologist, historian.
The things we've done together, honestly, over the years. Blue Cat, dressing up as
Blue Cat. We did investigating up in London.
Do you remember that one?
We came out of the Viaduct Tavern, and it was a typical. It was like a Victorian East End London night, and it was a bit foggy and a bit wet and damp. And he's walking down a road with a fucking great black coat on and a top hat like Jack the Ripper.
And people were giving us looks. Well, not us, him. And they all...
we got him to take photos with us like that. And he was holding like a pretend knife.
It was funny. We went to Mitre Square, wasn't it? The scene of one of the Ripper victims.
That's right. That's right. Well, it was good though, wasn't it? It was a good laugh, wasn't he?
But I thought it was funny. Like Neri says, "I'll take my picture of you strangling me like I'm one of your victims." So he went all calm on Neri, and then Neri went, "Right, it's Viv's turn now," and he literally put his hands around my throat, and I felt him squeeze. I went, "Do it gently."
He was funny though. He was funny.
It was funny that because he doesn't normally go into London, but he did with us. He did.
That was a good night. That was a good night in the tavern.
Yeah. Jack the Ripper, aka H.H. Holmes. I don't
H.H. Holmes, yeah.
I don't think it was. I think they're two different.
Well, they changed their mind again now, haven't they?
Yeah. And he had more victims than was originally reported because there was one.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I don't think it was H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, they keep changing it, don't they? It's like.
I think he was Polish geezer.
Yeah, Kosminski.
Was that his name?
Yeah, Kosminski. Yeah.
They're proving all sorts of things. Honestly, while Bill...
That what you call that Dear Boss letter was proved to be... They think now that was written by a newspaper man who was trying to drum up interest in the actual murders. So it's all weird. Do you know what? I spent years when I was a kid, because I was really into sort of ripperology stuff. I really, really enjoyed reading about him and that. And in the end, it got to the point where there were so many different theories and so many different philosophical points of view. I'd go up the ghost in the end because it's like you're chasing your ass round.
Yeah,
you're never going to get anywhere. And I think they know exactly who did it. But,
do you know what I found interesting? You know, when I told you I used to go around the churches and do my demonstrations of mediumship and Sunday services and stuff, I ended up in Wimbledon, you know, that Doris's church. I did it a few times, actually. But there was a guy in the audience, and I'll never, ever forget this, because I was quite scared to give the actual reading in a church setting. But I was told, like, no, this is good, you've got to give it, describe what you see and don't change it. So I gave this guy this reading, and I'm seeing, like, mutilated bodies of women. And when I say mutilated bodies of women, like the breasts of this particular woman, the breasts had been cut off and placed behind her ears, and the face was unrecognisable. Body parts were removed, like they weren't where they should be, and there was bits like from each body that was taken. And I was describing this, and I said there was even one that was found outside. And I'm asking questions of my guide at the time in the church. Like, why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me this? And he said, mention Jack the Ripper. And I said, I'm being shown Ripper victims. Is that right? And he was like, yeah. So I mentioned Jack the Ripper. So I did that in the church. This poor guy sitting there, not saying anything, arms crossed like this, you know, just listening, not nodding, not shaking his head. And then I was told, you're doing your family tree. You're a direct descendant of Sergeant Aberline. I'm being told this. And I said, there's a couple of lofts that you need to search, and you will find the letters. Right? So that's all I was given. I said, that's all the message was. And I said, if you do that and you do find it, please let us know. I'd be interested to know that I'm not just a crazy woman. Years later, never heard from this guy again. Years later, it comes up in the news, letters found in an attic where Sergeant Aberline had written notes about the Ripper case that wasn't in the public eye, or, you know, they were his personal things. So I never made the connection whether it was the same man, because I never got his name or anything, but they were found in an attic, and somebody was researching their family history, and that's how they were found.
Yeah, there were a few, Bill. You had Kosminski, there was Tumblety. Tumblety was one.
The Royal Surgeon, that was Tumblety, wasn't it?
The Royal Surgeon was a complete misnomer. They reckon that was a load of old nonsense. That was just people just made up rumours about that.
What about the Prince as well? He was in the frame at one point.
Yeah, again, they reckon that was a load of old nonsense as well.
Yeah. It's just some raving lunatic with a knife.
Just some lunatic, yeah, just some lunatic.
And there were plenty drinking gin back in those days in London.
Well, there was murders before, and there were murders after the other side of London as well. And they think that it could be a possibility that he moved across to somewhere, the other side of London. That's why the murders. So they're trying to get those in, tie them in with the ones. But it was 100 odd years. I don't know whether they will or not. But I'm sure they probably know it was.
Terry.
Talking about that a day, funny enough, Terry.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, Terry does crack me up. He's lovely, Terry.
But yeah, there was loads of them with Tumblety. Who was the one? Who was the guy in Liverpool?
Oh God,
his name now. He was one when they found the diary under the floorboards. Then they found out it was a fake, and now they're thinking maybe it wasn't a fake. Oh, they just chased it. They're chasing their tails.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think there should be more paranormal investigations around the Jack the Ripper thing? I know there is the Jack the Ripper experience that people can go and investigate. But what about the Jack the Ripper, the streets of London? Why don't people investigate that anymore? Why aren't they sort of like we did, didn't we? We got the old voice recorders out. Well, we got nothing that night, but why aren't people doing more as a paranormal investigator? One of the biggest mysteries.
Well, we know where one of his victims is buried, don't we? So we're going to go and go to her grave and try and see if we can get some information there at some point.
Eric says Jenny Sullivan talked to the guy that solved the Jack the Ripper murders. Why
do you know they didn't solve it? They're all telling us so. There's the artist, wasn't there? And what's her name? Oh, was a Trump name of a writer. She'd written a book. I've solved it. And then somebody went, well, no, you haven't, because you haven't taken this into consideration. And then it went down somewhere else. Then it was Tumblety, I think Tumblety was an American. Then there was H.H. Holmes, who was American. And then there was, so many, Kosminski. Oh, it's just loads of them, far too many to mention.
Yeah.
You know, but it's one of those things that you'll never... They probably know, but you'll never get...
Terry, are you talking about me and Dan being the nutters? Because I think most people run away when they see me and Dan coming. Seriously. Honestly.
I think that's the thing with the Ripper murders, isn't it? It's an interesting subject, and it probably could do with a lot more paranormal. I suppose you think Jack the Ripper was... What's that? That's the old joke, isn't it? What goes down the bottom of the ocean and kills swimming fish? Jack the Kipper. Yeah, there's so many of them. They've got so many people in the frame for it.
Hi, Irene.
There's a pub round not far from me, the other side, just over the other side of Hertfordshire, and they reckon that there was a bloke in the East End of London who moved out there, and they reckon he was Jack. They don't know.
No. There was that story flying about that they all stopped, and one of the people that was in the frame ended up in one of the mental institutions.
He ended up in Coney Hatch, Free and Barnet.
Yeah. And that's when there was a lull and the murders then stopped. But he ended up dying in there. And then the murders just stopped. None of this flight going off to America, H.H. Holmes, all that stuff. But he actually did get committed. And they did find surgeon's knives with him, didn't they? That guy.
Yeah, they reckon he was... There was a thing as well. There was in the East End, there was a sign written on the wall. In the end, the Jew... Oh, what was it called? Was it... In the end, the Jews have been the men who were playing for nothing.
That's it.
And when the police comes, or the police inspector come around, you can wash it off the wall now. Get rid of it now. Wash it off the wall. so they didn't take into consideration. They washed evidence away.
Yeah.
And then they found a bit of an apron, which was a leather apron. Then they nicknamed him Leather Apron.
Yeah.
Then there was a, what do you call it, given to, who was it? Mary Kelly's shawl. And so the family had it. The family still had the shawl, and they put that in for DNA testing, and they found DNA on it from a bloke, and then they worked out who it was. But as they said, the thing is, you don't really know if that was hers.
The shawl they reckon was a fraud, but somebody
now they reckon they reckon it's all over the place. And they said the thing is, it's been knocking about for 150 years. It could have, that could come anywhere. You don't really know. It's very weird. Shit, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's what they know of it.
Do you know what? I reckon higher than 500 because
the
funny thing about that man, right? So he got accused of these murders, got sent to prison, put in the general population. The general population realised they got a doctor there. They're not feeling well, so they were queuing up outside his cell. This is no lie. They were queuing up outside his cell and going in one by one for consultation with the doctor. And he was saying and writing on bits of paper, this is what you need, this will help you with this ailment. And then they were taking the bits of paper.
Got the infirmary.
Yeah, saying, I've seen the doctor and he says that you should get me this. So in the end, they had to put him in segregation to stop the other prisoners going to see him as a GP. It was just the funniest thing I ever heard.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
Hilarious. Yeah, but all of that wing were queuing up outside his door to go and see him. Doctor, I've got this backache. What can I do? You can imagine it, can't you? Funniest as fuck, that one.
I have no idea, Eric. What's that in connection with? Is that something to do with the Ripper, is it? Or
Limehouse?
Oh, you mean Limehouse? Yeah, Limehouse is an area in London. I
thought he meant Liam Gallagher's house.
Yeah, I think he means Limehouse. Yeah, Limehouse is an area in London where I spent many of my younger years.
Yeah.
On the East End. Yeah, again, yeah, see? They keep changing their mind, exactly.
Do you know what? I can cut a chicken up quite neatly now. Yeah, and gut and pluck a pheasant in quickest of time possible.
Yeah, Limehouse. Yeah, Limehouse is an area in the East End. Sweeney Todd, the barber, the demon barber.
Yeah, but wasn't Sweeney Todd a fictitious character?
No, it's real. Mrs. Miggins used to make pie. Yeah, I've been in the shop. I've been in the actual shop. I'll tell you what, I went in the shop, it shows you how long ago it was, back in the 80s, and I bought a pair of Farrahs because it had changed into a Gentleman's Outfitters.
It's a residential home. Yeah, we'll send Eric there. Do you know, maybe? Do you know what? There's so much to see and do that I just think that the investigators over here miss because they're too busy watching what the Americans think. No disrespect to the Americans, there's some lovely and great investigations and investigators and people that we know from America, but they're so concentrated. And when the Americans come over here and film this and do that, we got to do that. They don't then start looking outside the box. It's like a copycat thing in the paranormal, which is a shame, really, because they miss out on so much. Oh, God.
That's it, Mrs. Lovey's Pies. That was it. I still use a cutlery razor.
I made a pie.
At night in the East End of London, I use a cutlery razor.
I made a pie with, it wasn't a very good pie, but I made a pie with dog food once for somebody that I hated, and they ate it and said it was a good pie.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did you get awards for it? Did you win a lot? Yes, yeah. slice the throat, and then the cheer would tip up, wouldn't it?
There was a trapdoor in the basement of a few pubs where some rather strange shenanigans happened.
Yes. What was the
History.
one? Jar,
Ostrich Inn.
yeah, that was
Jarvis.
Jardine.
Jarvis.
Jardine, wasn't it? Jarvis, was it Jarvis?
Yeah.
He was the landlord there when he used to him and his wife was topping people for a few quid. Was he your chum? I don't know if he was a chum, but he had a good pedigree. Yes.
Yeah. She wouldn't have been the first person to do that, though, I think.
No, I bet they weren't even the last.
Do you know what? And even if they were, they knew that they were made out of body parts. I reckon these people still would have ate them because people were starving, and I mean hungry back in those days. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them lived on basic veg, didn't they? They were vegetarians before it was fashionable.
Well, they were still throwing buckets of piss out in the streets, and yeah, it was not a good place to be.
That was rank, wasn't it? Oh, that's a good one, that is.
Yeah.
Meat's meat, isn't it?
Pork pies, that's where pork pies come from.
You know, the thing is, people eat pork, but they're not thinking is that people feed bodies to pork, the pigs, don't they?
Yes. There were like a couple of farmers that were used to where they chucked the bodies in and they'd eaten.
They eat the bodies, don't they?
Wasn't there one woman in Colnbrook that was only identified by her teeth that came out the other end of the pig's? I remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Harold Shipman. We're back on Harold Shipman.
What Andy was saying there, he's right. The human cells, they're looking at growing parts for which I think is quite a good thing in the sense that they're looking at growing parts for transplants from cells, which I think is fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But when they're looking at growing meat from cells for human consumption, I don't know.
That's called KFC.
It is, yeah. But actually, I say that, but then there's probably a load of crap and stuff we eat anyway, isn't there?
Yeah, but it tastes good. I don't care. And if it's cheap,
no, that's true.
It.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and these vegans jump on the bandwagon. How do you know you haven't had a rat burger? If I've eaten a rat burger, it tasted bloody good because there's not one burger that I haven't eaten. So eating rat wouldn't be a problem for me personally.
Thing is, they used to, in the First World War, before they realised what the rats were eating, which was human bodies, they would eat the rat.
Yeah.
They were that hungry, they would eat the rat.
Oh, that's the ostrich inn you're talking about.
Yeah, that's that. Jarvis, Viv, is it? Jarvis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Dan first thing in the morning. That's scary.
Very scary. Well, there's that
and the only reason I've seen him is because we shared a room, not the same bed, because we're not married.
There's that girl that they said was murdered by the like the paedophile lot, weren't they? And they reckon that she ended up in a kebab.
Ooh.
They reckon she ended up in a kebab. Now, I like ostrich meat. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard reports saying pork. Hey up, Carl. Hope you settled in the new house.
Oh, he's got to do it out, posh.
Yes, you've missed out on all the gossip. He's moved.
I've missed out on all the gossip.
Yeah, he's moved with the missus. They've got a lovely new house.
Where are you living now, Carl? Where's he living now, Viv?
He might not want to tell you.
Just because he knows I'm going to turn up on his doorstep asking for money. I agree, but I draw the line at bum fun.
Oh, do you remember that investigation where we saw a human What was it? Was it a bum or was it a vagina?
Oh, what do you call this place?
So what do? We put the K2 on it to see if there's any energy. That was funny. The funny thing is, though, Dan, when we went to that place, we had the opportunity. We had a human torso, didn't we?
We did.
No heads, arms were gone from there, no legs. It was just like a shriveled up piece of leather that they just put, and it was the human torso on the table. There you go. Do what you want with it. It's like, really?
Thanks. We don't need asking twice.
Spirit box, are you male or female? What information did we glean from that? Absolutely fuck all.
No. We stuck everything on it, up to and including REM pods. You want to see when we stuck the aerial?
We even got a Ouija board out. This is just the funniest thing ever. This is me, how my mind works. So we got a Ouija board and we put it on the dissection table and they weren't getting much. I said, hang on a minute, I'll be back. I'll go and get you a hand. And I came back with skeleton hands.
Oh, skeleton hands, wasn't it? Yeah. Real human hands.
Put them round the Ouija board, like touching the Ouija board. There you go. You got some extra hand.
I'll tell you what, that was like a serial killer's lair, wasn't it? There was body parts everywhere, human body parts everywhere. Heads, skulls, leather face mask.
It wasn't a human face.
It was a human face as a mask.
But it was funny. But, you know, I didn't hang around to see if they got the Ouija board moving with those extra hands. But
there was a cabinet, wasn't there? Had about, must have had about 100 skulls in it, mustn't it? When you walk in there, first of all, you're like, blimey. And then after 10 minutes, you're like, oh, another skull.
Headache. You got headache. We walked in. I went, I've got to need a cup of tea and I need time to settle. He goes, well, what's wrong with you? Got a headache. Because of what was in there, you just couldn't take it all in.
It was so much when it was like, it was overload.
It was a great investigation, but it was...
Take it easy, Andy.
See ya.
Oh, that's good, Carl. That's good.
Oh, let's take him to that castle.
What one?
In Skeg.
Yes. Hiya, Richard. It's always a weird time to enter the stream this with us lot, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family are all good.
No, it's never too early.
No, I have it out all year round.
Oh, Dan.
Do love a bit of Halloween stuff. Called Bob. That's so Andy's off. It's nightmares.
Don't have nightmares. Enjoy it.
No.
Weather is perfect for it, but it's peeing down here.
Yeah, it's raining here.
It's been raining literally all week for nearly a week now, off and on.
Typical British summer, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't get scared, Andy.
Leave the light on. Make sure you take your teddy bed.
Okay, the new Rabbit Fulton.
Hi, Robert. How you doing, well, bud?
Oh, we love Rob. I call him Rab. I have these visions. He looks like Rabsy Nesbitt.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, they used to make soap out of the fat from the bodies as well, didn't they? Can't get your head around it, can you? You just can't get your head around it. You can't.
Yeah, but Dan, I'm seeking.
Good lad, Carl.
I'm seeking a human skull.
Local cemetery.
Local cemetery?
Yeah, dig one up.
No.
Why not?
That's grave robbing. That's a crime, you know.
Where do you think the skulls come from?
Not from our cemeteries.
Oh, so it's all right if it's someone else's.
He has got a point. They do come. He has got a point. They're all stolen.
He says I'm a hypocrite. But are
There's
they all stolen though? Some of them are medical grade though. They've been donated, sure.
medical grade, aren't they? But well, yeah. I mean, I suppose if they're old enough, if they're Victorian, chances are they could be robbing graves. You know, they could be like the resurrection men, couldn't they? Taken by the grave diggers, grave robbers.
The one I want's $3,000. I did like that skull.
The one I wanted was I think it was 1,000, wasn't it? But he'd sold it by the time I wanted it. It was the skull of an Englishman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had the skull of an Englishman, but it was he wanted $1,000 for it, which I would have bought it, but he'd sold it.
The one I want was $3,000 and it came from Haiti, and it was covered in wax.
Oh, you loved that one, didn't you? Love that skull, didn't you?
I loved that. It wasn't that. It didn't even look pretty. It wasn't something that you'd think, oh yeah, a human skull. You look at that thinking, what the fuck's that? You know, but too much money for me to justify $3,000 just like that. And he kept trying to sell it. He kept saying to me, I do payment plans, you know. I'm thinking, yeah, I'll be paying for it for years.
Yeah, $3,000 was it?
$3,000 for that.
Yeah, that's a lot of money in it. How much was that mask? He sold that. That was a lot of money, wasn't it? The mask.
$6,000. Was it $6,000?
It was a lot of money, wasn't it?
Mask, yeah. It was a lot of money.
Yeah, that was human face, wasn't it? Human thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent, Carl.
Let's sort something out.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Should we go, Dan?
Do you know what? I would pull one and they'd all come falling down on me.
Here we go. Weren't me, it was her. Quick.
I go, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I'll get the
Like a pile of skulls. I have no idea, Eric. It could be.
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Oh, that's like the blood of an Englishman.
Be he alive or be he dead, I'll crush his bones
and make some bread, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't there a girl that got lost in there, or a young guy or a young girl? And they found her body days later, didn't they? There was a party or something, wasn't there? And she wandered off, and that was it. They'd lost her in there.
Do you know that they do daytime tours? They take people down and do daytime tours, but at night it's left alone because they have a lot of drunk druggies that go down there and use it.
Do they?
Just to get high, so nobody goes down there at night, and it's closed off. But you can still get in, and there are still people. If you pay them money, they're willing to take you down, and you'll walk past these druggies and people that are off there.
It's massive, isn't it? Apparently, it's a real lock.
You can get lost in there. You can get lost in there. It's huge.
Well, that girl did, didn't she? I think it was a girl. It was a young girl. She was at a party, and I reckon she got drunk and wandered off. And they couldn't find her for days and days and days. And then they found her, and she was just dead.
Sarah, our Bugsy being here, he can be the Burke.
I was a Burke. They made. I think it was only one of them that got hanged, and they made his skin into. They covered books with his skin, didn't they? And his skeleton is now in the Anatomical Museum somewhere.
Damn, weren't they both Irish? Burke and
they were Irish immigrants, weren't they? And they ended up in, because apparently in Edinburgh there was a massive, because it was all tenements, it was slums.
Yeah.
And look at Edinburgh now, it's gorgeous, isn't it? But then it was all slums, and a lot of the Irish immigrants ended up there. And they didn't just steal bodies; they murdered people as well.
Yeah.
To sort of, they were proper evil couple of bastards, real evil individuals.
What midday sun? We don't get any midday sun.
No. That was what's his name? What's his name? Noel Coward.
Noel Coward. Oh, what
Noel
a
Coward.
great man he was.
Bad dogs and Englishmen go out to midday sun.
What mad dogs?
I bet it is, Carl. I bet it's very surreal.
Do you know what I thought was really really surreal. It was bloody fantastic as well. I went to the Church of Bones with Andy in
Oh,
the
you
Czech
did, didn't you?
Republic. Yeah, and everything is decorated with bones. I have never, ever in my life seen a huge, and it was massive, it wasn't small, a massive chandelier hanging from the ceiling made from human bones. All the decorations on the walls, like nice, pretty designs, a coat of arms and everything, all made from human bones.
It wasn't very big, was it? You were saying?
No, no. Absolutely amazing, and everything inside that church, the decoration and the way that they did it, was all done by a blind man who was
Wow.
blind or going blind.
I've
Yeah.
seen a skeleton on a crucifix, human skeleton on a crucifix. That was I'll tell you where it was. It was of all things, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Was it?
Yeah, they had it in there. They had it on show, and it was an amazing looking thing. Absolutely phenomenal.
I wouldn't bother.
Do you know what? I've been there, Kerry, and all that. I've investigated there. It's not all that.
For the money that you'd spend going there, get yourself on a plane, get yourself over to the Czech Republic, and get on a tour to that church. You'll do other things while you're there over anyway, but have a long weekend, go and see that. You will be mesmerised. I bought a skull home. It wasn't a real one. Well, I didn't, Andy did. Plaster cast of one of the skulls, and it's a plaster cast of a soldier, a Czech soldier.
You still got it?
Still got it. It's right next to my bed. Yeah.
Edinburgh, I recommend Edinburgh. Edinburgh's absolutely beautiful, and it's got lots of spooky history and stuff. But and I'll tell you what, Mary King's Close is good, but Edinburgh Vaults wasn't. I wasn't impressed.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Exactly. You know it, and that it makes sense. Oh no! Didn't you make any bones about that, Terry? Oh, well, you'll know, Robert. It's probably my favourite city. One of them, definitely. It's absolutely stunning, Edinburgh. And the history there.
I don't know what the.
The history's phenomenal.
No.
The Royal Mile, and it's gorgeous. The castle, and it's just beautiful, absolutely stunning.
After going to Transylvania, so Bucharest, forget that. Transylvania, out there, the further north you go, the more beautiful that place comes. And
I lived out there for a while, didn't I?
I fell in love with it, Dan. I fell in love with it. I still got your present from Transylvania here.
Oh, yeah, I lived out there for getting on for 9 months.
Yes, Carl, piss off and do some work, you lazy bum. He's going to batter me when he sees me.
Take it easy, Carl. Take it easy, buddy.
See you soon. Love to Louisa.
Yeah, I like King's Close. King's Close is, apart from anything else, historic. Like the history of it is phenomenal. Really interesting, and they got guides down there. The guides are second to none. They're brilliant.
So, you know this cemetery that they talk about?
Well, Greyfriars.
The Edinburgh Cemetery.
Greyfriars, yeah.
Is it a patch on Highgate? Seriously?
It's different kind of set.
Both sides of Highgate.
It's nowhere near as big. Nowhere near as big. But it's very impressive. Lots of big tombs in there. Lots of stuff built into the walls, like, memorial platters and plates and what have you and stuff. Ancient graves. I mean, I think it's lovely. I think it's a really, really beautiful
I'm
place.
going to take you. We're going to London. We're going to do that graveyard I suggested. Not to investigate it, just for a day out. We'll get a cab. We'll go be dropped off right outside the door. We'll take our chairs and wait till you see this place. You will piss your pants because it'll be so exciting.
We watched it. London was a massive metropolis, wasn't it? So there was the seven what they call it, the seven big cemeteries. They used to they London fed them, if you like. So the seven big cemeteries, that was one of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, what do you call it?
We're going to go to the other one.
Yeah, and there was seven of them, and they were fed by the dead of London. So that was they're massive. The thing is, I think that the historical figures, there's lots of old types of surgeons buried in the one in Edinburgh, because obviously Edinburgh is very well known for there's a lot of great surgeons come from it. Still are a lot of great surgeons come from Edinburgh, and so there's that there. You got the Mackenzie tomb, which is all impressive.
They've closed the mausoleum to the Mackenzie tomb and the reason it was closed was because too many people were getting hurt. So they've stopped anyone from going in there now, because apparently people were getting punched in the face and collapsing and having to be whisked off to hospital afterwards. So they've actually shut the door. You can't get into it. You can do the rest of it. The rest of the graveyard, and what was that place in there where the prisoners were kept? You can go and do that.
Oh yeah, You go, yeah.
But you can't do
Mackenzie.
No.
I'm not surprised. I mean, had a few heart attacks in there, I think.
Dan, you can do it and stake it out. See if it's real or not. We will prove that this thing doesn't exist.
That guy died there. I think he was a homeless guy, but the thing is, they put that down to sort of exposure.
Yeah.
Because they said he got down sort of below or to the side of it, and they said that he died through exposure.
Yes, Covenanters. Yes.
Yeah, the Covenanters. Yeah, exactly, Robert. Well, Robert, no, he's right on the edge of it.
We should go ghost hunting with Robert.
You're right, Cliff. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Wow. Yeah. Kerry, are you down our neck of the woods? She must be.
Was he an old Cockney, Kerry? A lot of EastEnders buried in there, aren't there?
Yeah. Kerry must be close to us. She'll have to come out with us at some point.
Yeah. I wonder where are you, Kerry? Are you local? Are you local, young Kerry?
Don't tell us where you live, but the rough area.
Rough area, yeah.
Or just roughly, because we know what Dan's like. He's rough.
Yeah, very rough. Oh, what have I done there? There you go. I've no idea. You know more than I do, Sarah. I don't know.
I thought it was a dog.
What cemetery are you on about? Are you on about Greyfriars or are you on about?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, she's in Sussex. She's not that far.
Not too far. It's not that far.
No. We'll have to sort something out, Kerry. You'll have to come along. Join in the fun.
It is amazing. It's an amazing place. But then I love that place anyway.
Yeah. Yes, Sarah. Bobby, the Greyfriars.
Yeah, Greyfriars Bobby, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there you go. It must be EastEnders then, Kerry, because a lot of the East End moved out there, didn't they? After the war and stuff, when they got bombed out. A lot moved out there.
Yeah, they've got lots to do, Dan.
I'll tell you what. There's history, as you say. There's history everywhere. Like Cliff was saying, it's all over the place.
I'll have to get you one of those motorised skateboard things, scooter things.
Yeah, suits up.
Can you imagine me and you going out on one of them in London? Bloody hell. Oh.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah. It could be. Yeah, there could be. There's so many myths and legends that surround these places. There could be, a whole plethora of ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we have a battlefield up here, Dan. We got one right on our doorstep, right? And every year these ghost hunters arrive to because you can audibly hear the battle taking place and people dying, right? So all these ghost hunters go there in the evening of the day. But what they seemed to forget was the battle happened at first light.
That's
So
it,
you need to
Sarah.
be there the day before to be there for when the sun comes up to hear anything and experience anything. It's so funny. People get it wrong. It does make me laugh.
I like it when people do investigations and they forget to take into consideration the Gregorian calendar and how it changed. So they got the
Yeah.
dates completely wrong. It's like, no, you're about 3 weeks too early, love.
Yeah. It's funny. Oh. Wakefield. Sandal Castle.
Oh, I've not heard of Sandal Castle.
Ooh, what's that thing we went to? Wakefield, the Unitarian Church.
Oh,
Wakefield.
that was the, what do you call it? The, what's it called, Viv? The crypt, wasn't it?
Yeah. They took you down in the crypt. And it's weird. When that gets going, it's really weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
Getting scratched. Scratch don't bother me. It's being punched in the face by the other one in the mausoleum.
Do you know what? I did Colchester Castle and I love it. The only problem with Colchester Castle is when I went in there, they gutted it and modernised it, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
They still got some of the old bits in there, but it just looks. It was like you've ruined it. You've taken the soul out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the outside, but it is beautiful. It's a beautiful castle.
Yeah. No, I agree. Westgate Chapel.
Westgate Chapel.
Was it Westgate we went to? Westgate Unitarian Church, is it?
It might have been.
I don't know.
It might have been.
But it was quite interesting.
There's still so much untapped sources out there for investigations that people haven't even begun to. I mean, people tend to do the same old things time and time again. I think because people get lazy and it's easy. Whereas if you put yourself out a bit, there's probably so many places out that you could investigate that haven't been done.
Well, I had permission to go and investigate a very, very old copper mine. But Dan, is a lot of steps down, and I don't think that, I would have to trust people that I would take down there and where it is and be respectful, but I don't know whether
I agree. I think in that what the problem with that is that how can you discern what's a reenactment and what's spiritual? But yeah, they say it drums up all sorts of things. I think the things that I've found interesting when people have gone to castles and they've seen people in costume and then they spoke to the staff and said, "Oh, I love the way the people are reenacting stuff. We haven't got reenactors here today." That's quite interesting.
I remember at Colchester Castle seeing a man that shouldn't have been there. So I went to go over to the man and he walked off. And I said, "Who was the man in the suit?" And they said, "What man in the suit?" I said, "Oh, well, he came down here. Who was he? He was a member of staff." And we don't know who you're talking about. Never saw him again for the rest of the night. And that was at Colchester.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Because people are looking for people in period costume.
Thanks for that, Sarah.
They miss what's going on in front of their face.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. I know an old asylum and it was terrible, and they turned part of it into a housing development. And if these people in this housing development are not having activity, I'd be very, very surprised.
Yep, doesn't surprise me.
Hearing swords clang together. Do you know, my favourite is when spirits swear at you. Not through spirit boxes, not through any apps, is when you do a perfect EVP session, which Dan and I have done, and we've had people swear at us. It is the most funniest thing ever. I got called a cock once.
They tell me to F off continually, don't they? Every time I go, off they go. Off they go.
They do it in Old English.
I got called the horrible word that shan't be mentioned. They called me that.
But it's the way you get it on a proper EVP. It's the way they say it as well. That cracks me up. Because when I got called a cock, they said, "You're nothing but a cock." Like that. It was like, what? Well, that must have been real bad swear words in the day. What if they don't? What if it's all just residual energy? Aha. Because everyone thinks that ghosts are interactive. No, not all of them are they?
I always say there's a difference between ghosts and spirits.
Do you know what, Wayne? I got permission to go into Severals, and I was at the point of arranging a date with the council before they were selling it off. They were speaking to security to get the date back to me, and the man that was arranging it all suddenly left. Strange that, isn't it?
Translate what, Terry? You've lost me. They don't take much to lose me, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Some
even,
of that
even if it's not haunted, it's just the thought of it, isn't it? The thought that people were victimised in these places.
I got attacked going to see my son. No, seriously, why? It could be a combination of things. Seeing my son and going to a haunted location. He took me there. I didn't go there. I didn't seek it out for a bite to eat. Come home, got attacked quite viciously. So, yeah. Go figure that. Yeah. No, I spoke to somebody from the council, and yeah, I got permission. And they were trying to get me somebody else to talk to. Yeah, because all the permission, everything had been given. But yeah, it was I didn't bother in the end. I thought it's not worth it. Yeah, I did as well. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I was just reading the chat, just bits and bobs. We haven't missed anything. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like a lot of these places, they cry out for money because especially these little independent places. And then you go in there and you say, "I want to do X, Y, and Z." Oh no, we can't have it. Prime example: I tried to get a property that was 750 years old, and they needed money. I spoke to the people there and I said, we've been given a little bit of funding.
Mm-hmm.
It's only taking care of so much. We've got over £1 million worth of work that needs doing on the house, not even including the grounds. And the grounds was something like 50 acres. And there was like an ornamental lake and what there. And they said, and to do that, it's going to be, we don't know. So I said, well, look, what I can do, if you allow me to come in and do an investigation, I could then, if we sort of get to the point where we come to an agreement, maybe we could open it up to paranormal groups. They wouldn't know it. And I said to him, look, you could be looking at £200-300 a time. I mean, it was a big house, stately home. I said, you're looking at £200, £300, £400, £500 a time with the right groups. No, I don't want it. And you think, well, if you can't be that badly off. You know what I mean? If you're screaming that you can't get any money, I'm trying to help you here, but you're not helping yourselves.
Yeah.
And they rattle, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. It's like, well, crack on then.
Yeah.
Because every penny helps, doesn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. So, Dan, are we going to try and get a guest on for next week? Shall we try?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you reckon? I decided while Dan was off, that we're going to get people from some of the presenters from Simply Spooky. We're going to have a once a month special where we are going to probe them, find out what they are about, where they come from. We'll be asking questions that nobody dares ask them, we will put it all to them. In fact, we will just slap their faces.
Yeah, they've got to do it. I don't think you can move them on, Robert.
Of course you can't.
We can't move them on.
I don't care what anyone says. You cannot move an
I think
energy
it's
on
a
like
delusion to think that you can, really.
that. Yes.
My opinion.
Well, Dan, let's just have a quick discussion about this.
It's interesting, Kerry.
Who are we as people to tell spirit you can't be here, got to go? Who are we? No one. We're nobodies.
No.
If the
There's
higher
nothing we can do.
energy...
If they don't go, there's nothing we can do.
No. Well, I think a lot of that, and I'm talking as a medium that go out and help people in homes and things, is to try and calm them down and pacify them. If you use that lie to enable them to live a normal life and, oh yeah, they're gone, great. If it works, great. But that, I'll guarantee you that medium has not done that. They haven't got the power or the energy, or they haven't died and come back again like that to be able to move anybody on. So they're lying. I don't care who you are.
You know what? They're convincing themselves, aren't they? They're convincing themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do, don't you? If you tell a property that's allegedly haunted, you're meant to notify them, aren't you?
Why wasn't I notified when I bought this house? On the day I moved in, things were happening. Dan's seen something. Things come crashing and stomping and drink pots thrown and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. Nobody told me that this house was haunted before we moved in, or Andy, and it was never declared. David Oman, oh my God, we got him in about spirit rescue.
Love David Oman.
Oh, he's amazing.
Such a nice man.
Oh, it was David Oman's birthday a few days ago. Should we sing happy birthday to him?
Yeah, go on then. I'll watch.
Happy birthday to you.
David
Stick
Oman.
your head down the loo.
David Oman.
Never taste it, never waste it.
David Oman.
Happy birthday to you.
David Oman.
You bloody kill us. So that's an idea that we come up with, because I think once we've gone through the presenters, at least everyone gets a good idea who they are, what their background is, where they come from, likes, dislikes. They can see them for warts and all. And if you have any questions that you want to put to them that you were too scared to ask yourself, you can message us. We'll ask them. We don't care.
And you could be as rude and horrible as you want with Lois.
Yeah.
She loves it.
We could ask Wayne, do you wear lucky socks when you go on investigations? Or have you got paranormal pants? You know, things like that.
Indeed.
Ooh.
It's not a Native American burial ground, is it, Cliff?
Cliff's in Wakefield, isn't he?
Oh no, so I'm sat in the piss. Every time he was built, the things in these films, he was built on a Native American burial ground. Any pants will do.
Oh God. What is in my pants is scary. We know. Christine's a lucky girl. Terry too, released.
Cliff.
You know that song? I'm Jake the Peg.
Peg diddle 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 diddle.
With an extra leg, diddle diddle diddle. That's Terry.
What was it? It was I'm Rolf the nonce diddle diddle diddle. I'm an Arthur once diddle 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 diddle. And I like to diddle 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 diddle.
Dan, can't say that.
Just did.
We don't know for sure. It's like Cliff Richards is a bit suspect as well. Hot pants.
Yeah, no, he was a dirty.
Well, Eric.
Not Eric, no.
If anyone wants a dinosaur EM pump, just let Eric know. I'm sure he can knock one up for you. You know? I laugh if he actually did one, you know.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
We'd have to take it out, Dan. We'd have to borrow it.
It's like a Nobosaurus.
Here's a question. So, right, this is going to sound a bit disgusting. You know these toys that lady uses, like rabbits?
Yeah.
Are they EM pumps then? Because I took my
They probably are, aren't they? They probably are, really.
So you could take one on an investigation, turn it on, let it spin round a bit, build up the energy, turn it off, and then get your...
Do you reckon that if a person's using one of them and it lights up, that there's a spirit in there? And that's how they know they've got ghost boyfriends.
Should we test that theory?
Yeah.
You can go to Ann Summers and pick one up then. I'll give you half the money.
Got to have a ghost hunting coat. Got to have a ghost hunting coat. You must have one, Kerry.
Yeah, but have you got a ghost hunting vest? Or
did you really, Robert?
Really?
What happened to freedom of speech?
Yeah.
Me and Viv aren't allowed near them.
We've got a mini Tesla coil that
We're
lights
worried.
up light bulbs. We've got those little mini ones, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been told that we'd blow ourselves up.
Well, no, I wanted... What was it? I wanted that... Oh, God, what was it? The Jacob's Ladder.
That was it. Yeah, we're not allowed to have one of them, are we?
Oh, invest in...
Invest in money!
Yeah.
It's got little lights on the end, like trigger objects.
You get those little finger lights, can't you? Just put them on the end of
You
your
can
bike.
get those, yeah, you can get those.
Yeah. Oh, I sent you a link, Dan, by the way, for a new piece of equipment that's on pre-order.
It's not one of them ghost hunting dildos, is it?
No. I want you to have a look at it and see if it's any good and what you think.
Who is it from? Is it from anybody we know?
No. Have a look. I won't say too much, but have a look at the link. I found it by accident, and it's the one that everyone's talking about.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at it.
Yes. Have a look at the Ann Summers ghost hunting section.
I know.
Do you know the latest one they're working on?
Snow White.
No. You know the theatre it's you know that Wicked that's in the theatre with the witches.
Do you know they've got one? Sorry, Sarah. Do you know they've got one? What's that? The witches in
Wicked.
Wicked, yes.
They're making that into a film because Rob was working on it.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that, actually.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'll tell you what, though, I meant to say to you, actually. It's coming out in the West End soon. What's the name of it? Oh.
Yvette Fielding, Most Haunted.
No, Catherine Tate. No, not her. Catherine Tate's in it. The Enfield Poltergeist.
Oh, God.
I know. Be interesting to watch. Be interesting to see it, though, and watch what the bollocks is. Because you know it's going to be super, super hyped up and, you know.
I'll let you go for me.
I would go to see it just to throw things at them.
Should we get some pots of slime and throw it at them? Say, it's ectoplasm!
Ectoplasm! Look out, you ginger bitch! She's behind you!
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're... I'd like to have a look at that, Viv, that thing. What? Do you know what? I was going to go and see that, and then I read the write-ups and thought, oh, no. Was it that good, Terry? Was it funny? I went to see one... Oh, Do you believe in ghosts? It's a big. We
Yes.
walked that halfway through. It was the biggest load of pile of dog crap I've ever seen. It was awful. Do not go and see it. Honestly,
I've been told not to go to the Postmortem Live show that's touring.
why?
And I sent a link to Andy, shall we go to this? And Jill went and saw it last year. And they promise you, you read the advert and you think there's going to be a human body there. And if you want to sit in the front row, it's more money. And anyway, they paid to go. And all they pulled out was a pig that had been not kept very nicely and riddled with maggots. And that's what they dissected. She said,
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
But they make out they're going to dissect a human body, don't they?
Yeah, it's not. It's a pig head. They haven't even got the whole pig. It's just the head. So she said, don't bother going. So.
Oh, that was what's her name? Sarah Green, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Whatever happened to Sarah Green?
I don't know.
Still knocking around?
She must be, mustn't she? She's married to Mike, whatever his name. They
Mike
helicopter accident, didn't they?
I don't know.
Because the old joke was she's leaving him because he can't keep his chopper up. Still haven't got over love story. Mrs. Keep went on to say sorry.
What? Love story? $2.22.
There you go, a good twist.
Yeah, don't go.
Don't we go? Ghost Watch, that was it.
It's a
Yeah,
bit
that
like,
was it.
that's where Spring Watch came from, Ghost Watch and Autumn
Ghost Watch, yes.
and Winter Watch.
That's when people come and look at the. They pay money to look in my windows.
Mike Smith.
Mike.
died.
Oh, did he die?
That's
I didn't
sad.
know that. I did not know that. Yeah, she was married to him. She was her husband, wasn't he? But because they took her up in a helicopter, didn't they? And it crashed. Because she ended up with, I think she had like reconstruction surgery, and she had a scar on her. And she was a pretty girl, wasn't she?
Yeah. Somebody actually died watching the.
Yeah, a lot of people were getting freaked out, weren't they? Trouble is, you look at that now, and it's tame, isn't it? Now, when you look at it.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting. That's right.
All staged.
Oh, well, he couldn't have been very old, Sarah, could he? He couldn't have been that old, couldn't he? Could he? So as we were saying earlier, what's her name died, Viv, didn't she?
Sinead, yeah.
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Bless her.
interesting.
And and
Yeah, R.I.P. Rest in peace.
I hope she gets some peace in her life, and it must have been a shock to her family and her close friends. So, yeah, just Sinead, if you're listening, just find peace wherever you are.
Yeah, she always seemed like in the last few years she seemed a bit of a tormented soul.
She was an activist, wasn't she, as well?
She was looking for answers, bless her, and she just. You could see, well, maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like she was getting a bit screwed up. She didn't look like she was very stable, bless her. And yeah, it's a shame. 56, young
Kerry
woman.
says, I think Ghost Watch is on YouTube. No, don't watch that. Watch Striking Midnight.
Yes.
Striking Midnight for the real deal.
Oh, was he really gone to Australia?
What? He was disgraced, wasn't he? He was bankrupt. He was made bankrupt. Why would they have him in Australia, a bankrupt man?
Or Drifting on Paranormal. What happened with him? Because it all went quiet on the Noel Edmonds front, didn't it?
He got made bankrupt, didn't he? He had no money.
How How did he manage that? Because he used to fly helicopters, didn't he?
Yeah, but didn't he? He was relying on that show, What's in the Box one, and they
Oh,
acted
yeah.
it. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Santander owed him million.
Yeah, they're dodgy, that Santander, aren't they?
They're all right.
It's a good deal. Well, they've been caught to be, what you call it now, and they've been closing down people's accounts if you don't agree with their politics.
Auckland. He must have family there, or somebody.
He must
there.
have left Blobby Towers behind then.
Oh God.
He lived there, didn't he, in Blobby Towers for a long while?
He did. But you know what, Dan? Talking of humour and stuff like that, when we're pissing about and having fun, like we take 5 and we go mad, don't we? And we get loads of stuff that happens in the paranormal. And for example, and you'll like this one, Sarah, we were in Wales and we were doing a spirit box session just because we could. Absolutely nothing. And I said, hey, Dad, do your Welsh accent and see if we get any response.
Yes.
In your Welsh accent. And we got shitloads came through, didn't we?
I don't think that they were conned by my Welsh accent. I think they were pissed off because he thinks he's talking Welsh, the twat. I mean, that sounds like an idiot.
Yeah, but we got loads and we got direct answers.
Yeah, he was going down the spiritual route for a while, wasn't he? I remember he was into not Kabbalah, but things like that. He was into, wasn't he? Sort of alternate spiritual avenues.
Yeah, so all he did was change the accent. I asked a question then in between Dan's questions in the Welsh accent. Nothing. The minute Dan says, "You don't know what she's talking about, boy," and all this stuff.
And it started, didn't it? Yeah, we get a lot when we piss balls about. We get the activity steps up, doesn't it? It's always when you're ignoring or you're concentrating on something else. It's like, they don't like it, do they? They don't seem to like it.
Stuff happens by accident with me and you, though, Dan.
It does.
It?
He
was on I'm a Celebrity. He was in the jungle, wasn't he?
Yeah. Was he?
Yeah.
Well, he lives out there. He's right on his border, then, isn't it? Because that's held in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah. We even had Welsh cakes and everything, didn't we? We went right fully into it, and they didn't want to have a bar of it until Dan spoke in a Welsh accent, and then it came flooding in. That was a weird one, that one was.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Trying to make money out of it again.
He was Mr. Saturday Night as well, wasn't he? He was.
No, he wasn't. That was Ant and Dec.
No, actually, it was Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise, wasn't it? Ant and Dec.
And
Mr. Dec are piss poor.
And
they are
Bruce
useless.
Bruce Forsyth.
Damn them. Bruce Forsyth. I used to like Bruce Forsyth. Good game. That was him, wasn't it?
Nice to see you.
To see you nice.
And the other one was Shut That Door.
Shut that door.
Larry Grayson. Larry Grayson.
I used to like Larry Grayson.
He was quite good.
He was funny as anything. He was so funny.
No, do you know who was the funniest? And you can still see it on Sky. I think you can download it on That's TV. Was In Sickness and in Health.
I'll tell you what I've been watching some of, and I haven't watched it for years. I started watching it a little while back. Do you remember Dick Emery?
Yes. You are
awful, but I do like you.
And he had that persona of the is it the woman or a man called Honky Tonk? Do you remember that?
That was the gay guy. When
Honky Tonk. Yeah. When it was like taboo,
It was funny though. He used to have all that weird clothing, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was still trying to work out what they do myself, Robert. And Dick and Dickhead.
I like them too.
Can't stand them. Can't stand them.
It.
Afghan is very funny.
Do you know what? I like Michael Barrymore. I do not think that he is guilty. He's got questions that he needs to answer that we'll never know the truth about, because it's what he was doing at the time and why he had all those boys there. But I do not believe that he is guilty of that boys drowning in that hot tub.
He's a very, very funny man.
Yes, and he
He's
lost
a very, very funny
everything.
man.
He lost everything because of what happened. And I would dearly love to see him back on the TV and doing stuff again, but we know that that won't happen because the PC mob won't allow it.
It's a shame, really, because the man's a wealth of talent, isn't he?
He is, and it's a waste.
Absolutely, I love him. Absolutely
waste.
Loved him.
Yeah. But then, that's just my opinion.
Strike it lucky, that was it. Yeah. I liked him. I still like him.
Yeah, and I think he would be, because he is still hounded about what happened by the family. I think the father passed away, didn't he? The father of the boy that died. But he's still hounded by the family and certain members of the press. I just think it's really, come on, really? After all this time?
Peter Noon, is he still around, is he? I didn't even know he was still around, Robert. Punting his old record, blimey. He must be living off the 60s fame still then.
That's before my time, Dan.
Yeah, I'll just about get into it.
I've decided I want to go and see Bad Manners in concert.
Lippelfad, yeah, Lippelfad. Oh. Stuart's dad.
Who's Stuart?
Who's Stuart Kerry?
Seen it yesterday. Peter Noon.
Peter Noon. Try striking Midnight Paranormal. Beat by the Playmates.
Oh, Stuart Lubbert. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stuart. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he was. I know the mistake he made was leaving the scene of the action. I think that was his only mistake, to be honest. And I just think, like the press, they love to build you up. They do love tearing you back down again. And I think that was the problem. They tore into him. And
don't forget, it was a time
people,
when being gay wasn't accepted like it is now. You know, I know a man that lived in a house with 10 boys, and they do things and swap around, and I won't mention who he is. And that was back in the 80s. And when one of the boys that I knew was a friend of, he got accused of shoplifting a pot of hair gel, which didn't happen. And they were going to press charges against him. He made that one phone call to this famous person, and he came into the shop and said, he has cash on him. I give him cash. Like, if it is an issue, I'll buy him a whole box of hair gel. Let him pay. Let us go. And because of who he was,
did they?
Yeah, they let him go. He paid for the hair gel, one pot of hair gel, when they left. But it was just somebody being a job's worth. But they saw this person come into the shop. Why are you here? I need to speak to the manager. I think I've told you who he is.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not widely known, and it's kept under wraps. Even today, when it's more accepted, he would still never admit that he has a house with 10. Well, there's 10 of them. So 9 other
The
playmates.
thing is, if nobody's hurting anybody, then it's their business.
Exactly.
It doesn't, it doesn't make him any less of a
And it strikes me that
decent.
he was doing the same. And yeah, it was sad what happened, and nobody should go like that. I understand that. But that was the lifestyle that the guy chose, So anyway, we digress. Yes, and Kerry says it's none of our business.
You really don't want to see me on a big screen, Eric. You need a big screen to get me on.
I've seen you on a big screen, Dan, on my telly.
Oh, that's true. Do you know what? It was another man that was maligned, wasn't he? Found to be innocent in the end, but by that point they destroyed the poor fella's life.
Yeah.
Exactly, Kerry. If they're not hurting anybody and everybody's, they're consenting adults, then it's no one's business. It's their business, isn't it?
Look at some of our greatest. Noel Coward never came out until the very end, and he lived a tormented life, didn't he? He would have gone to prison.
People's sexuality should have no bearing on what they are as a person.
Nothing to do with it. And what was his name? The man on the piano. Do you remember the man on the piano? Liberace.
Oh, Liberace, yeah. It shouldn't have any bearing on that person.
No.
If you're gay, you're gay. If you're straight, you're straight. There's nice gay people. There's horrible gay people. There's nice straight people. There's horrible straight people. People are people, It shouldn't. I don't know why people get het up over someone's sexuality when it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Who gives the monkeys?
Oh, Sarah said something quite interesting. I don't know what that is. I've been at work.
Yeah, Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
He was a good-looking bastard, though, wasn't he? He was a really handsome fella.
Yeah.
But yeah, who cares? The chances are, you look at these people and you know they're gay anyway. And they probably are. No, they shouldn't have to live in fear. People shouldn't have to.
I have to live in fear when I go out ghost hunting with Dan. Is he going to fart and I'm going to have to chew on it, or is he not? Because sometimes they are evil.
And that's why I can't get a gay lover, because my ass stinks.
You're terrible.
When I fart. No, it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, exactly. I don't understand what bearing it's got on people's... I genuinely don't understand what bearing it's got. If somebody's nice, they're nice.
Do you know what? Just a funny story. I had a gay friend, Carl, who was very, very flamboyant. He'd come into the house, he'd breeze into the house and shout, "Hi, Bella," to everyone.
literally, Sarah. And
then my kids, I think they were about 3 and 4 at the time, and he was teaching my kids to walk up and down the lounge.
Exactly, Kerry.
I put my head round there, because I was cooking dinner. I said, "Carl, what are you doing?" He had them putting their hands on their hips, the other arm swinging, and it was making them walk up and down. I said, "Carl, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm teaching your boys how to mince."
Mince?
What? Anyway, I didn't think nothing of it because they were having fun and giggling. Anyway, my mum comes round to visit me a few months down the line. And my kids are doing this. "Come on, should we show Nan what we learned?" It's like, come on then.
Well, like catwalk.
They were mincing up and down my blood. My mum said, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" Shona, Nana, we are mincing. That's what they told my mum. I thought it was great.
What's the old saying? It takes all sorts, doesn't it, to make a world?
Yeah. Didn't do them any harm. Yeah, Dan is disgusting because
I'm rank.
You can chew on them. And when I start heaving, like when I did the bone thing, and I blew on that and started heaving, he thinks it's hilarious.
We did investigation. Oh, we were over Shepton Mallet prison, and me and Viv were miles away from everybody else, and it was really quiet and dark. And I knew I was brewing one. I went over to Viv and let it go. Silently walked away, and she was, and all I could hear from the dark was, "You dirty bastard!"
That was funny. That was a great night.
Oh, it was a good night. We got good stuff that night, didn't we?
It was the fact the best part of the night was when I shut the door on someone because he pissed me off.
Oh, he was annoying, wasn't he?
Tell people
We were in the morgue, weren't we?
Tell them what
And
we did.
what it was, you were designated sort of time slots, and you could go around, and you took it in turns, people rotating, and there was about, I don't know, these were meant to be professional. They were meant to be seasoned investigators. So they all should have known what the score was. And first of all, we went into the gallows, didn't we? And we sat in the gallows, and it was just you and me, and we were doing. And this guy tried to bang in. He said, "Oh, we've only just got him." We're like, "Well, we've just got here. You'll have to fucking wait." and we were propagating the army. That fucking wait, wait. So anyway, then we were carrying on, and then we thought, okay, the last place we went to was the morgue. When it was, the morgue, there's nobody there. We're on our own. Go in the morgue. We'll close the door, and then we'll see if we can do an investigation. Just do vigils in the morgue. So we're in the morgue, and we're doing this investigation. And all of a sudden, there's a knock on.
We were reviewing an EVP, weren't we?
There was a knock on the door, wasn't there? Bang, bang, bang. Can you hurry up? We've got to go, or something like. What was it he said, Viv?
He said,
we're packing up.
We're doing the wash up talk. You've got to go. You've got to go back to the base room.
And you went. We've only just got here. You're right. So he's at the door going, and he's meant to be the one who's in authority. This bloke. He's at the door going. Yeah, but you got to go. And Viv went, yeah, bye, bye. And as she's, it was like Jehovah's Witness, wasn't it? You were closing the door on. It's like, bye, bye. And he's standing there talking, and you just closed the door on him, didn't you? And you could still hear him outside. And then you heard, he walked off. You heard him walk off.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
2 minutes.
Whatever.
Bye. Shut the door. Why would we need a wash-up meeting? Really?
You couldn't have insulted him more if you'd gone like, fuck off.
We never did do our review because we were too busy laughing at what I just did.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? You can't be in them. Bye, but bang. He was left, wasn't he? Embarrassed.
Oh God!
And then we walked into the room. We were moaning, and then they tried to invite us back. Said, "Yeah, no, we're not coming back on your we're not coming back on your investigations."
It was funny. They wouldn't let us in. We were trying to get in for about an hour.
That was terrible. And then they said that everybody's in. Well, no, they can't be because there's two of us out here. And we've been out here for an hour while we were getting the ump, weren't we?
And then when they got there, you're on Team B or whatever it was. So we went to Team B. Well, where are they? Oh, they're doing a thing. Oh, well, I have to wait until the break and then you can go and join them. Okay. So we got to Team B and we were just having a cup of tea, thinking that this was the break. Next thing you know, everyone's got up and where's our bloody team gone? We were like, team.
We were asking him, we bollocks to them all, we'll do our own thing. Fuck them, bollocks to them all. We'll just do our own thing. We did, we all did our own thing.
But where's your team? There's people saying, where's your team? I don't know. I don't even know who they are.
We don't even care.
Oh dear, we're terrible.
I was at the bottom of where the drop was, and I'm shouting, is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? And he heard, we're up here doing an investigation.
Oh, it was funny.
That was a good night, that, wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah. You ever come on a public event with me and Dad? We will get you into trouble.
If we get the arse, we don't hang around. We tell them straight away. This is bollocks.
Yeah. People just let us do what we want to do.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they come close to us and they see we're spitting acid and they just step away, don't they?
The funniest thing was in the break at this place. We'd never met these people before and they were asking me about the Ovulus. So I turned it on and we let these two kids sit in the break and play with the Ovulus.
Oh, they were nice to kids when they're youngsters.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they were asking the Ovulus questions and you heard quite distinctly, he's cute. Right? So The two lads, one of them said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "He's cute." He said, "Are you going to?" If he said, and then he asked a question. Can you touch him in the showers? And you heard the reply, maybe. That was it. They were going straight to the shower. The boy went bright red, because he was embarrassed. So I had Marvellous back. Anyway, the next thing, it was them screaming because his mate took him to the showers, straight to the shower block. He said, "Bend over and pretend you're picking up soap." And then he felt something touch his bottom. That was it. He ran out.
I said to him, and then I said, "And you did that?" He went, "He pushed me in there and wouldn't let me out." His mate had pushed him in there and wouldn't let him out, so his bum got touched.
It was so funny. The funniest thing.
They were a good couple of lads, weren't they? Cliff's got a question for you, Viv.
Do you dream a lot? Sometimes, not always. Sometimes. I had some funny dreams involving my husband, and they were weird, really weird. Not
dreams are interesting. Dreams are interesting.
Well, no, because I was one of them. I blame Dan for this one, and I don't know why. I'd never liked George Michael's music or anything. Never a big fan.
Oh, I love George Michael.
I was dreaming of George Michael, and he'd walked in, and I'm in this particular room, and he had no top on. He had like trousers on and everything, and he was crying. He was sobbing so hard, like a man shouldn't sob like. So I went over to him and I gave him a hug, and I put my face on his chest like that, and I noticed that one of his nipples was lactating, right? And I said, "You better sit down." And he pulled me down. He wouldn't let me go. And he pulled me down. He sat down in a chair. So I had to go on my knees in front of him, still hugging him, trying to give him some comfort. And I moved my head that way. And then the other nipple was lactating. And I said to him, "You do know your nipples are lactating?" And he, through his tears and everything, he said, "Yes, I know. And I've got to be on stage in 10 minutes. And he was crying. And then I woke up. And that was the only part of the dream that I remembered. But how weird it would be about someone that I don't even particularly followed or, let's say, was a fan of. I'm not going to say not liked, because I didn't know him to like him or not. I just wasn't a keen fan. Weird.
By all accounts, he seemed like a really nice guy. Very kind.
But really, really sobbing. And he wasn't skinny. He wasn't the skinny, good-looking him. He had the shaved head and, the tash, and he'd put on a little bit of weight. But that's how he was in my dream.
Yeah, dreams are interesting, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, forget the whole supernatural thing. I think there's definitely subliminal messaging in them.
I've gone to bed at times and... Well, I live in a house this house, believe it or not, is quite active at times. And I remember having to stay here on my own, and I'd gotten into bed, nothing bad or untoward or anything. I didn't have the heebie-jeebies and nothing. Went to bed and I watched a bit of TV and I thought, right, I'm getting tired now. I'm turning the TV off and go to sleep. So I turned the TV off, go to sleep, or tried to, and I'm aware of a glow, like in the room that shouldn't have been there. So I thought, I've left something on. So as I sat up in bed, as you do, you sort of sit up and think about getting out. That figure standing at the bottom of my bed, as clear as day. I hadn't even gone to sleep yet. And I looked at it and I thought, for fuck's sake. I said, "Will you piss off? I'm tired," right? I didn't even know what I was saying to it. Laid back down. And then I opened my eyes, just kept my eyes shut, and I thought, "No, open your eyes, have a look." That glow had gone. And that's happened more than once in my bedroom. My husband is a non-believer. Doesn't happen. It's all a load of rubbish. It's nonsense. He had a voice say to him, "Who are you?" as he got into bed next to me. Yeah, some real weird stuff. I don't tend to dream a lot. Not really. But when I do, they are vivid and I do remember them quite clearly. So, yeah, I do sometimes.
They are interesting dreams. As I say, forget the spiritual thing. It's like the subliminal messaging, isn't it? That's the subconscious. What's, Eric says he can't stop dreaming. Oh, what's that? Wayne says his ghost stories company's dreams.
Oh wow!
It's
Do you
interesting.
know if I wrote the stories about my dreams, they'd be bloody weird. Bloody weird, seriously. I have some really weird dreams. I was looking after Joey Essex was the most recent one I had, but then I've been watching The Only Way Is Essex before I went to bed, so I wanted to see what my kids were, you know. And I was looking after Joey Essex. He was like he was one of my kids, but not, if you know what I mean. It was quite funny. Yeah. Why would he want to know if I dream a lot? Why do you want to know?
Question though.
Did I wake up before he go? I did, yes.
Oh,
I
every
did.
night Cliff has them. I have sort of, sometimes I will, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have really good the clarity of the dream's really good, and other times I can't.
I have done this a couple of times, not often, but you know when you have a really good dream and you wake up and you want to continue from that point in the dream that you woke up, you want to continue with it. I've gone to bed and had the continuation the next night. I have had that, which I thought was a bit weird, but I thought nothing of it. I thought that must be me doing it.
Was that a dream though, Eric?
It's Dogman.
He's Dogman Eric.
To shift in sleep. Do you know what is another weird thing for me? But this is to do with the thyroid problem.
That's weird.
I can sleep for days. You know when people say I've had too much sleep, I can't sleep anymore. So if you sleep in the day, you won't sleep at night. Well, I've slept in the day, then slept at night,
Journal.
then slept the next day, and gone to bed as normal the following night. So literally 2 days of continuous sleep. I have done that. And when I woken up, I felt so knackered. What's wrong with you? You had 2 days sleep. Yeah, but I'm knackered. And that is a medical condition that's causing that. Have you ever had a dream that you're falling and then
Yes.
just woken up? Right,
Yes.
so I've had a dream I was falling. They say, oh, if you ever hit the bottom, you're going to die. Rubbish.
Yeah, that's right.
I've had a dream that I was falling and I did hit the bottom. And I woke up with a start because it fucking hurt. And when I woke up and realised I'd actually fallen out of the bed. And the falling was what I was dreaming about, falling through the sky. And I hit the bottom. And that was me at the bottom of the falling out of the bed.
I had a really weird dream that I was eating this giant marshmallow. And when I woke up, my duvet was gone.
Shall I tell you a secret about Dan? Can I tell them, Dan?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
So when Dan sleeps, right, and I only know this because we've had to overnight investigations. We've shared a twin room, and you know everything was above board. I'm separate bathrooms.
Jamie's been there as well when I've done it.
Yeah, and Jamie's witnessed this because we'll all doss down in the same room. We don't care. We're uncouth. Anyway, Dan talks in his sleep, but this is nonsense talking.
I talk.
And sometimes he puts on an accent.
It's weird.
He told me, and he said it quite aggressively, don't go near her, she's a tart, that one. And I sort of like, what? I went, who are you talking about, Dan?
I was talking about Jamie.
And then he went, it's electric. And I'm thinking, what's electric? And then he said to me, don't forget the creature shop. The creature shop. Go to the creature shop. That one over there. Don't forget. I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? And I realised it was Dan talking in his sleep.
It's odd. It's as weird as anything. And sometimes I wake up when I'm halfway through a conference, when I'm halfway through a chat, I wake myself up and I'm still doing it. But Hazel, when I wake up sometimes, and Hazel and the kids are pissing themselves laughing because I'm talking, I'm weird. Quite a bit of the time, I'm not talking in a Yorkshire accent. It's as weird as anything. Weird. It's like this whole Yorkshire accent comes out. It's happened quite a bit.
And don't forget, Jamie caught you talking about Dr. Urtker pizzas.
Dr. Urtker pizzas, yeah.
Dr. Urtker.
Yeah.
Jamie thought it was so funny. Oh, Sarah's. Oh,
Oh.
Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
Hiya, Sarah.
Long time no speak. I remember you, Sarah. She's a lovely lady, Sarah is. Me and Dave from a while back. I caught something interesting on my dash cam. Yeah, no, send it over. You've got me on Facebook anyway, so yeah, send it over. No problem at all. But yeah,
That's
we've
interesting, Eric. Who knows what our minds do?
Yeah. Dreams are funny. I did a course on dream analysis. Do I believe it? I don't know.
Sarah.
I don't know.
No, I think they're interesting because I think that there's information in them. I don't know whether it's supernatural or spiritual.
But I think
there's definitely information in them.
But you need the whole story. So as soon as you wake up, you're supposed to write it down. Because even the little bits that you think are nothing. When I did my dream analysis thing, they asked us to keep a diary next to the bed for a week, which I did. I had one dream, wrote it all down as much as I could remember. And it was being in a concentration camp, walking along, seeing all the barbed wire, the electric fences, being shoved and herded into a room, thinking about escape, that sort of thing. And they tried to analyse my dream. And the stuff that they were coming out with was absolutely ridiculous. And it was only because during the day, Andy's an idiot. He watches all the old black and white war films and stuff. And there was something about a concentration camp. I must have seen it in glancing, and must have thought about it subconsciously and replayed things that I'd seen and not taken any notice of. So the stuff she was saying about the time of having that dream analysis done was far from the truth. And she said, right, okay, we'll do another one. And we did another one where my teeth fell out.
Oh, I've had that.
So having my teeth falling out and getting up in the morning, brushing my teeth, and then they're all falling out into the sink one by one, and then me panicking because the whole set of top railings disappeared. And then she tried to analyse that, and that was a load of nonsense as well. So maybe I just got the wrong person trying to analyse my dream. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh,
I bet if you had a proper psychiatrist, I bet they'd be able to come up with some interesting theories as to what these dreams, what they are. You know, looking at it from a scientific point of view.
I only ever had one that did it right, and it was I'll never forget this. This was a long time ago. I was going through a real before I met Andy, real tough patch in my life, and I remember somebody coming to my front door and giving me this huge fish. Here I go. There you go. There's your dinner. Enjoy. You know, you and your kids will be all right, sort of thing. And I took this huge fish. I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And I thought, I know, dry it out on the fire. And I put it on top of the gas fire, and it started dripping blood. And the dream analysis that I got from that was the best ever. Better than any reading I've ever had off of anyone. Absolutely spot on. But that was so long ago, I can't remember who did it and why they did it. And
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I suppose, like with anything, you get good mediums, bad mediums, some that try, but bless them, so far off the mark. I suppose it's the same with that. I don't know.
No, it's weird, isn't it? I'd like to know why I'm talking a Yorkshire accent.
Maybe you was from Yorkshire.
I think I probably watched a load of Northern stuff. That's probably what it is, isn't it?
Do you watch that? What's his name? You Bastard. And he says you bastard quite a lot from Yorkshire, but Yorkshire tea.
Oh, what, Johnny Vegas?
No, not Johnny Vegas.
He does PG tips, doesn't he?
The good-looking fella from Sharp.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
He calls everyone bastard.
Bastard. All right, bastard.
All right, bastard.
Bastard.
That's his catchphrase now, isn't it?
It is. When I was younger, I had a nightmare according to my parents. I was screaming in my sleep, trying to escape out the bedroom window because I was trapped by someone in my dream. It took me half an hour to get out of it, and I remembered nothing, but my parents told me what happened. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
That's
It's
a form of
interesting.
sleepwalkers, don't they? Because they reckon when sleepwalkers are doing weird things, they're actually living it in their dreams, don't they?
Yeah. The thing is that everything you've experienced, every smell, every picture, everything you've experienced is in your memory.
Mm.
You can't access it because it's back there in the subconscious. But your brain, your memory, every experience can be pulled up, which is why we forget things. And then a
Yeah.
certain smell will trigger a memory of whatever the situation was. So I wonder, if that's with German and stuff like that, we learn the words, we know the basic of it, and then what happens is we can speak it in our dreams and we can understand it because essentially it's all in there.
Right,
That's what we
I'm
can't do
going
for
to
the
I'm going to
conscious.
put this out on a live now
Sean
because
Bean, that's it, Sarah. Thank you.
I know he's watching. So I've just had a message from a certain man, and I will read it word for word. So it's okay to backstab again and not allow me to speak. So nobody has backstabbed you. We have opinions, which we are entitled to, as you are entitled to yours. We're not interested in backstabbing anyone. And, I really do think that you're still not well. So get better soon. As I've told you before, get better and we will have you back on the show. But until you're better, we can't have you on. It's as simple as that. All right. So we've told you, we wish you nothing but happiness and wellness. So if you want to take that as backstabbing, that's up to you. Okay. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to say that. You've made certain statements that you still stand by, and people have opinions about it. We have a laugh and a joke about ourselves. Dan calls me all sorts of names, and I him. And none of us take offence. I know Dan very well. You've done the same thing. People have taken it a certain way, which may not have turned out well for you. It doesn't mean that everyone is in that same category, if you like. We don't need to do that. When we're more grown up, we left the playground over 40 years ago. We don't wish to go back there. So if that's how you're perceiving it, that's totally up to you. You're entitled to your opinion as we are ours, but nobody is backstabbing you. If you want us to backstab you, we could do, but we're not going to because we haven't got time for that. We're not interested. So, with that being said, get well. We'll have a chat and you're more than welcome to come back on the show. But until the time that you are able to do that, when you're well enough, we won't have you on. It's for these reasons, because you're still, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, you're still not well enough. And we want you to get well soon. It's as simple as that. Now, what was you talking about, Dan?
I've forgotten what I was talking about now. What was I talking about?
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree, Cliff. It is a good subject to talk about dreams at a later date because obviously lots of people have got different opinions on them. Personally, I just think it's, I don't know, just information that you build up over the course of a period of time, and then your brain tries to make sense of it while you're asleep and tries to decipher the hidden messages in it. I don't think there's anything supernatural or spiritual about it. I just think it's what the mind does.
And the mind is so
powerful.
The mind is a very powerful tool to everyone, and we can only use it in the ways that we can cope with, I think. Sometimes the other stuff seeps out when we have to sort of, what the hell just happened,
Yeah, it's like I say, my opinion can change regularly. If somebody comes to me with and says, well, I don't think it's this, it could be that, then my opinion, if I agree with them, my opinion will change. Or I'll certainly mould it to fit, to incorporate what
Yeah. Well, Kerry, we can only wish him well. So it's as simple as that, And let's just leave it at that. We won't do there's no witch hunt going on here, and
I'm not being funny. I've got enough crap going on in my own life without worrying about
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting.
Yeah, not me either, Rob.
I'm never going anywhere nice. Well, actually,
For a
no, a
couple
couple
of
of times
things,
we've been somewhere lovely, but yeah.
exactly. I don't think he wants anybody's sympathy,
No.
knowing him. And why should he, you know? But, yeah.
There you go. Oh, Sarah, send it over.
Oh, let's have a look, Sarah. We'll have a quick look. Ooh. Oh, let's have a look. I'll have a quick look. Oh, she's in a car. Oh, she's in a car. What? Oh, hang on. Oh, interesting.
Is it interesting?
Let me send it to you, Dan. Do you mind, Sarah?
Is that all right, Sarah? If
Yes,
she sends it to me, if sends it me.
Send the longer version as well. I've sent it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, do you know, I had to have some toast. I've not had my tea yet, so.
You're making Rita hungry.
I'm sorry, Rita. I'm sorry. I love toast just lately. I need toast.
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 Just a little bit of toast.
Oh, do you remember that song?
I look around the kitchen, what's staring at me? It's the toaster, as you can see. Toast. Just a little bit of toast.
Oh, we're not right in the head, are we, Dan?
No, can't be doing this. Any more messages, Viv?
No. You know. But anyway. So, we've been on here for a while. We can carry on.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
I'm bothered.
What do you want to do? Can I do another half now?
Yeah, I don't mind. Oh, Sarah says it's on my laptop. We'll sort tomorrow. It was a long country road with open fields either.
I thought there was
Scott,
oncoming traffic. I'll have a
Where
quick
wa-
look at that and message you.
Where was it, Sarah? Was it up north, south? Where?
Up north, Midlands.
Was it up north? Oh, was it in the Midlands?
Mm.
There's
Leave
a
it
lot,
there.
there's a lot of paranormal stuff going on around the Midlands. And
Tamworth.
okay. Oh, I know Tamworth. We know Tamworth, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We know Tamworth really well.
It's interesting.
There's a lot of paranormal stuff in the Midlands. Well, there is everywhere, but the Midlands seems to be an awful lot of it.
Yeah. Oh, she's just picking on
Picking
me.
on you.
Sis, you can pick on me anytime you like. I'm just going to call you Dan's sister now.
There you go.
Because he picks on me.
All the time.
Mind you, I'm surprised I'm not in Sarah's bad book sending her husband filth.
You did. Was it those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think they make great EM pumps.
Well, you never know, do you?
Rita, did you see them?
She's laughing.
Oh no, she's terrible, isn't she? She's terrible. So what was we talking about before I interrupted you, Dan?
Oh, we took dreams, weren't we?
Eric, show them to her.
Dreams.
Eric, you must show them to her. She will roar with laughter.
Oh, Eric, yeah. Oh, you got to show them, Eric. Did they just start life out as a bit of comedy? Or did they start life out as genuine things?
I don't know. Somebody has made these things and are selling them on Etsy. I think Eric needs to buy one and make an EM pump out of it.
What I tell you what Eric needs is one of those 3D printers.
Yes.
He could knock his own stuff up then, couldn't he? Knowing Eric, he could probably make a 3D printer. He's quite a handy fella, isn't he?
Yeah. Very knowledgeable. So, dreams, Dan. Could we dream that we're seeing ghosts?
Who knows? Who knows?
Are they communicating through our dreams?
Some consensus of opinion says that they are, don't they? But I don't know. I'm like with a lot of it. I like to get the doors open. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I do believe in the spirit world completely, and I do. You know, I've experienced things that I can't really, put my finger on. That have been out. They couldn't have been anything but paranormal.
Yeah.
But the amount of things that happen that happen that people claim are paranormal, I don't think personally, I don't think it's anywhere near that. The amount of people claim and what actually is paranormal, two totally different worlds.
No. Do you think that's because some people, where their passion leads them into what I call the real research side of things, where other people's passion just leads them to the ghost hunting hobby?
I think that's the thing, isn't it? There are ghost hunters or paranormal investigators, and there are hobbyists, and that's the thing. And I think that even though it's a hobby and you're not paid for it, I think that if you look at it as a professional job of work, and you want answers, and you go about the best way of accumulating those answers or finding your way to those answers.
Yeah,
I think then I think that that's a credible way of doing it. But there are so many people running around that everything's paranormal. For example, do I believe in angels? Yeah, I believe in angels. Do I believe that every feather that falls down is an angel feather? No. No, I absolutely don't believe that. When people pick them up, I saw somebody who is actually a very well-known paranormal investigator who picked one up in the woods and thought it was an angel. Picked it up in the woods. What you get in woods? Loads of birds.
Yeah.
And there was a feather on the floor, and he swore that it was a message from his grandmother or grandfather or something. Well, A, it's not. It's from a pigeon. And B, how would you know? Why would it be from your grandmother or your grandfather? Why would it be particularly from them? And how would you know it was from them?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that whole thing about, if you find a feather when you're depressed. No, it just means a cat's got hold of a bird most of the time.
I've seen famous mediums that say look out for signs, and they feed these people rubbish, I suppose. Is that way of giving them upliftment? But these signs are actually rubbish because we all interpret.
When you tell people to look for signs, everything becomes a sign.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I don't believe in that at all. I think that they're subtle and they're nuanced, but I think they're going to be a lot more determined in giving you a sign if they want you to have a sign.
Yeah.
Like a prime example is when my dad died, my mum had lost a wedding ring. Couldn't find a wedding ring. And we were up the graveyard and she was crying. He hadn't been gone long. And she was crying. And then my mum used to smoke. So she pulled a cigarette out and she didn't have a light. And my aunt pulled a matchbox out. And when she opened the matchbox, my mum's wedding ring was in it.
Oh.
Right. And that was still in the graveyard. So I think those are like proper communication, I think. I can't say it definitely was because I don't know. Who knows? But if I was pushed, I would say I think that's proper communication. That's proper, because how did it get there? Where was it? How did it? Do you know what I mean? And my mum was crying at it at the grave, and then literally when she walked away from the grave to light a cigarette, it was in a matchbox. It was in my aunt's handbag. So that's weird. It's like, how did it get out? It's just odd. Just odd.
I took the death of Uncle Norm quite bad, as you know. And it happened 2 days before Christmas. I had a miserable time over Christmas, and I remember sitting at home. Something was on the telly. It set me off, and I was absolutely sobbing my heart out because there was no warning to bang gone. And during that time that I was having this fit of tears again, quite distinctly, I heard the voice from behind me, and he had a distinctive voice. I heard, Viviano, monkey see, monkey do. And I thought, what? Did I just imagine it? I was in full floods of tears, crying, watching the telly, and I heard that behind me, and it stopped me in my tracks. And it made me feel better because I heard his voice. Didn't make sense why he would say that to me, because he used to say it to me all the time. I know now why he would say it, but that's not the thing. That he would say to me, Viviano. Nobody knows that he called me Viviano, so I know that I didn't put it in there in my head because I was too busy crying at the time. You know how you want to cry, just get it out. To hear that, and it just stopped me dead in my tracks. And I said, I've just heard him. What are you
There are
talking about?
weird things. There's weird things. I remember we did I mean, it wasn't any family or anything, but we were doing an investigation at Bodmin jail, and it was sort of like getting off a late afternoon, sort of very quiet, midweek, nobody there, and there was 4 of us went down into the basement of the jail or cellars, and I just walked off, and 2 of them walked one way, one of the girls walked the other way. I stuck my head in this very dark cell, and it's I must admit, it's the only time I've heard it with the clarity that I heard it. And as I stuck my head in the cell and I've looked around and I've walked away, and as I walked away, I heard this voice. And the weird thing was, I couldn't tell what direction it came from because it came from everywhere and nowhere, is how I could describe it. It was like, it was everywhere. And it was, what you be looking for? And it was a Cornish accent. What you be looking for? And I'm looking, and I looked at my mate, and he went, I just heard that. I went, please tell me that you heard what I heard. And he went, what you be looking for? I went, yeah. And then the girl come around the corner, she went, fuck. She went, I heard that as well. I said, but the weird thing was, it came from everywhere and nowhere. And it wasn't like somebody, the thing is, you can tell when people speak to you, you can, because obviously you've got 2 ears, you've got stereo, haven't you? You can tell where it comes from. But with this, it was like inside your head and outside your head at the same time. And everybody heard it. And it was so convincing that I had to go upstairs and say to one of the staff, have you got any form of speakers that you run, like, you run tapes through or CDs or what have you, to give it, like, to make it authentic? He went, no, we haven't got those here. And then I said to him, what we've heard can only conclude. And I knew it was paranormal. I knew it was from spirit and I've never heard anything that clear and concise. Ghost boxes, ovuluses and things like that, they're all open to misinterpretation. To be honest, I don't give much credence to them. I've worked with them for years. And initially I thought they were great. I thought they were this, thought that. Then you learn a bit about them, and all of a sudden you think, yeah, they're not really. They're not what you think they are.
We have had a thing where we had it the once, though, where we had 2 people, man and woman, speaking in French. The man started talking to us.
That was odd.
Woman, but it was like she was having a go at him for talking to us and not.
That's right.
Don't speak
That
to
was
him.
odd.
And they started arguing.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the ovulus.
Weird.
The thing about the ovulus, and Terry noticed it. Terry noticed it when I noticed it. We noticed it at the same time because he came to me and said it to me, and I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. I've noticed that it started coming out with a single and solitary word, and then it was coming out with words that weren't actually logged into it.
Yeah,
it wasn't in the data bank, and then it was coming out with fucking sentences.
Yes, we could get.
And it was like, well, this was never designed for that. This was designed for solitary single words. But all of a sudden, it's breaking the laws, and it's creating its own bank of words, and it's also creating sentences. And I tried an experiment, and I had it, and it was a boxing gym. And it was me and a guy called Mike who went, a very nice guy, police officer he was. And we went there to do this investigation, and I had this ovulus in my hand. Now, the girl upstairs in the gym wouldn't come down into the gym, and we could hear noises. You know the punch bags? We could hear them being punched. We could hear them being punched, and you could hear footsteps and everything, and there was nobody down there. And so her boyfriend at the time was a boxer, and he was running the gym. So he said, "I'll let you in." So he let us in, and we went in there and we said, "Look, you can go now. Leave us here. We're fine." So it's pitch black in this gym. Couldn't see anything. And I sat down, and I remember the girl upstairs had said to us, "They keep moving stuff. They keep moving stuff, and we can't find it." And then in my head, I was trying to formulate the question, and in my head, I'd asked the question before it came out: "Do you move stuff?" And then the ovular said, "We hide their stuff." And the copper went to me, and I said to him, "Mike, I've just been thinking a question, and that's the answer to it." And then there were other things that went on in there that we couldn't quite explain, and that was like, well, maybe it didn't start out it was started out as a gimmick, but all of a sudden somebody's hit on something, whether it be a fluke or whatever, and it started to then take on a life of its own, become sort of its own like spiritual intelligence. It started to use it. But overall, I don't give much credence to a lot of that stuff, because I think that it's open. It's open to interpretation. There's been some great EVPs over the years that I've heard, and I've heard some really good stuff out of ghost boxes. But the thing with ghost boxes, I think it's like pareidolia. I think it's like an auditory pareidolia. You can hear things and then try and make it fit in your head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think what me and you did at the Ram, because we started.
That was interesting.
Now I'm not going to tell people. I'm not going to divulge stuff about the Ram. But what I will say is that Dan and I stumbled upon a secret about the Ram. We started questioning it. We were then getting things happening on a personal, like physical level. But when we did a spirit box session, Estes method.
Yeah.
I was hearing one thing, Dan was hearing something else on the same box. We were blindfolded. We just had that blasting, and it was loud. I had no clue what Dan was saying. And when it was played back, whatever was being said that we were hearing, me and Dan were having an argument with each other.
We were chatting to each other, weren't we? And we didn't even realise it.
No,
and
they
one
were
of the
asking
girls
questions.
that was there turned around and said, "I don't know what's going on here," she went, "but they seem to want you two out of the building. They didn't want us in the building, did they?"
Yeah.
Once
Dan,
we got an idea of what was going on.
We're going to have to call it a night, because we are way over time and we are being called off.
Willow says, "You late guys. Don't Dan, I know. I'll need another fortnight off now, Willow."
Oh, bless her. Bless her. But we will be back next week. So
we will.
We will be back next week. So join us. I mean, I think we should continue this conversation, Dan, because we've got so much more that we've got to say before we get a guest on. So
yeah, no, I think it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to chat more about it.
Watch that video. Watch that video that I sent you from Sarah. Let's get some thoughts about this. I'm going to look at it properly on a bigger screen.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to look at that.
And I'll be in touch with you, Sarah, and give you my thoughts. But yeah, what I saw was whoa. But anyway, I hope
good
you enjoyed
night, everybody. And
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for coming on.